Reactor engaged. Faction locked. All go.
Thundercats are loose.
Hello, hello. I hope everybody's doing well on this Sunday night. It is not the Sabbath, despite what some people may say. That was technically yesterday, but still. I'm glad you're all here. I see Beckett sent people to my stream. I'm hoping my chat doesn't get filled with slurs, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Now, I want to give you guys some background before we start here and admit some things real quick. First of all, I will admit I have a bias against Router. And the reason why I have a bias against Router is because he has proven himself to be dishonest and a weirdo. He's made false allegations against me. And you'll find out later on why I'm a little more upset with him. However, I still plan on handling this as evenly as possible, considering a trial by fire, considering all the other nonsense I've had to deal with. This is not an aspect of predator hunting, even though unfortunately a predator has been involved in this, that Router, of course, did not actually deal with the way he should have. But, you know, we'll take it by ear here. But I want to go ahead and start with the background of what happened here. So, about a month ago, the 90s Router, an individual well known apparently for doing videos, quote-unquote, making fun of people on the internet, did a video on me. Now, in general, I don't care if somebody does a video on me. Again, most of you came from Beckett. You know that there's plenty that I've done in the past that is to be criticized. Whatever, that's fine. But the problem, other than his video being absurdly boring, which was Vlad's entire takeaway for the most part, is he hated it because it was boring. He also decided to talk about and frame, there are people in Senate that are little girls, and they're mentally unwell, and there's been accusations of Lyo grooming, and I believe it. He essentially, unapologetically, said he believes me to be a groomer. Now, of course, obviously I would take offense to that. Now, the funny thing is, I have a lot of people before and even going forward that'll say, well, if you get defensive at that, that's sus. Brother, who wouldn't get defensive when somebody makes an absolutely stupid accusation of you? If you don't get upset by it, there's probably something wrong in the skull meat. Now, after that, what happened was Ace Space, and you should check it out, and maybe I'll throw the links in the description afterwards, did a stream on this moron. Did a stream on this moron, bringing him on. And when he brought him on, he asked him questions, kind of cornered him in the sense that he had no explanation for his bad behavior and his bad actions. And then he asked to bring me on, and I came on. And I want you guys to know, I tried as hard as I could to be the most polite I could with somebody who did something this dumb. I did. I genuinely did. To the point where I even literally told him, please don't make me embarrass you. And I'll get to all the super chats by the end. I really appreciate it, guys. Please don't make me embarrass you. Because what I found beforehand, because Vlad actually gave me a heads up before any of this started. Because this doofus, and I want to be clear, I plan on doing an actual full video on this later. I've got something I need to take care of first. A video about Nerf that needs to be hitting first. But this idiot went into Vlad's server, assuming that Vlad and I were still beefing, as one would say. And not only asked him to confirm my legal name, but also initially made the claim that went on talking about how my found family were all AFABs. Obviously in implying that something is predatory, because of course he did. The reason he wanted to know if my legal name is Thomas Guerra, roll the R, is because he was worried about litigation. Because for some reason he thinks that I've hit a bunch of people with lawsuits before, which I've never done. And now, looking at how his video came out at first, and what we're going to be looking at shortly, I think I know why he did that. He did that because he was scared. Because he knew the moment he said something that dumb, if I was, in fact, as litigious as he thinks, he was scared I'd go after him for it. And I just think that's the truth. Because the thing about Router is every other person he's gone after that I've seen, they're too big to notice him. Or they're not even on the same platform. Like, he went after Six Erican, who primarily is on Twitch. Who cares about what happens on YouTube, right? But the thing is, I have some teeth, and I will bite back if somebody's being that level of dumb. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth of the matter. If you're suspicious enough to where you come in to verify my legal name, you're worried about a litigation, and then you put out a horrible video, I want you to be aware of how horrible this was. Alright? There were people in Vlad's server that want to slap this guy. Usually they have no problem making fun of me. Which is fine. Whatever. So let me go ahead and pull up the first video he did on me, just to point out the specific moment he said the dumb things. Just shut up, Router. I'm going to put him here, because we got some timeline to go through here, my dudes. Let me see if I can find just the right spot. I'm going to use the transcript. And for those of you who may not know, if you're doing research on, you want to find a specific clip, if you go to the transcript in the description, you can keyword search it, usually. Doo-doo. Ah! Hit the wrong button! Stop boomerang yourself, old man! Do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, actually, I need to get to this part first. The 1 minute mark.
Channel back in 2016 exposing and ridiculing furries and bronies and...
Actually, I didn't even get into predator hunting until 2018, so fantastic, research done from the beginning. And thank you, Madame Drawstings, for being a member. But yes, brilliant research at the beginning. I totally didn't start the first 2 years just talking about nerd crap.
For those of you keeping track, I have one of the former on my team. And
he says he has one of the former on his team. He has a furry on his team. Now, in the interview he did with Ace, he said, no, they're not on my team. I just have friends that are furries. Because I guess this moron thought that I just went after people for being furries. Now, granted... Oh, you can't hear the vid? How dare? I don't know. Desktop audio still showing. Let me try this again.
in fact,
Yeah, it's still there. Does anybody... Turn up the vid? Okay. Let's try this again.
it turns out I have a few. So I have to defend them.
Are you hearing it now? And yes, it's Castlevania music. Did you hear that section? Okay. He has to defend his furry friends, because I guess, here's the thing. One of two things could have been possible here. Either he thought I went after furries just for being furries, which, I mean, in fairness, that would give any channel, content until the end of days, but I don't care about that, in general. Or, my suspicion was that there was a predator I had busted that's a buddy of his, and we're going to get to that.
I guess. Anyways, he's also known for running a server called The Senate, which is believed to be made up of children or young adult females from various backgrounds, possibly suffering from some form of mental or physical abuse that he may or may not be grooming. Now, all of this comes with a very heavy allegedly.
Allegedly,
As although I'm led to believing a lot of this speculation through context I'll explain later, the research I was capable of throwing together in just a few days, and with numerous dead ends, speculation, allegations, and not a lot of proof and videos that cover the controversy without a lot of context or a direct narrative, was incredibly limited and muddled.
Which is why he chose to cover it, right? Because it was muddled. But no, he says, I'm inclined to believe it. So first he front-loads saying that Senate was filled with children and women, which, no, it wasn't. It was primarily filled with dudes that are dorks. Were there girls in there in terms of, children? Maybe before 2021? And yes, he claimed in Vlad's server that most of his research was on Vlad's video, or from Vlad's video. At no point did Vlad ever call me a groomer in his videos. If he had evidence for that, I promise you he would have ran with it. immediately. Because while I don't like it when I find out that one of the people I'm beefing with is a child predator, Vlad thinks it's hilarious and we use it as a weapon. And I'm not saying that to decry him. He'll confirm that in the chat himself. Both, I've had him and a couple other content creators well, why would you be upset? It's just more dirt. It's fine. But, no, I didn't groom anybody. Buy Transformers, buy Transformers, buy Transformers. So this is the main section of it. Now the rest of it's absurdly boring. Mind-numbingly boring. He can't. This dude tries his best to insult me, but he really can't. He's just not smart enough for it. He's not clever enough for it. So, and then, what happened was Gallagher, aka the Mean Demon, the Grass Defiler, the Grass Groomer, because he touches grass. Dude actually, goes on sabbaticals to get away from internet crap for a while. Hopped in his server to find out what's going on with this dude, because his server was coping hard about this moron getting dragged on screen, or on stream, and then removing his video. Now, he promised me an apology. Of course, that never came, because why would it come from a dishonest person? So, he wound up hopping in the server, seeing these people coping and malding, and in and of itself, Gallagher probably wouldn't have done much. But I'm going to explain to you something about this individual named Gallagher. Gallagher hates the moral argument for anything. He just wants to have fun on the internet and make fun of morons. However, he noticed that nobody in this server checks ages. By the way somebody was acting, he realized somebody was a minor, and then brought it to the attention of everyone, and they didn't do anything about it. So what happens? He tells Vlad. Vlad's like, nope, time to get the minor out. By the way, Vlad only knows how to do bullying. So Vlad does a quote-unquote raid, and I'm putting that in major, the bunny ears, quote-unquotes, because when you do a raid on somebody's server, it's usually not people just popping in and saying, what are you doing? Usually it's spamming things, whatever. Didn't happen. Did not happen at all. Were we mean sometimes? Absolutely. Because what happened during this, when Vlad is sitting there, like, tearing these people's faces open, saying, why is there a child in your server? Why is there a child in your server? What happened was the child at the time, the 16-year-old who was making comments they had no business making, and nobody asked for their age, of course, during all this, said, should I leave or should I go? And of course, most people said leave. Except Nick Mullen. Now, Nick Mullen's a very unique individual. Nick Mullins is a Temu or Wish.com version of Aizen from Bleach. And before the Bleach fans get all upset, I'm making fun of him, not your husbando or whatever he is. Nick thinks that everything that happens, he has foreseen it. He has caused it to go into play. So, what happened a little bit further than that? So, one person, VX also voted a true. VX also voted a thank you, Vlad. Fun thing about VX, you can go to Ace's streams and look at it. There are several Google Docs that a person within my server actually found, because I wasn't digging into these people, where it shows that Novak likes him young, if you know what I mean. To the point to where he even admitted not only to grooming, but grooming to get kids to leave him alone. Which, brilliant take, right? It's the most intelligent argument somebody could have. Not just blocking the children, not telling them to piss off, but, I pretended to groom them because I wanted them to leave me alone. Let me see if I can actually find, I have the screen cap here, because there's something I've got to bring up when it comes to all these shenanigans. So one moment, uno momento. Ahem. Open image, new tab. Boop. So let's see here. I'm actually going to switch to the reading screen for just a moment. Just uno momento. And hopefully you guys can see it a little bit there. He says, I faked the pedo crap. I groomed them on purpose to make them think I'm a pedo, so they would leave me the F alone. The entire crap show was planned by me since the start of this year. Imagine pretending, quote-unquote, to groom children because you don't like them. Now, here's the thing. I don't have a whole bunch of data on this dude's past. It was sus then when people realized that I was actually involving myself. This dude did come out, and it will be in the video that I plan on doing, saying, well, they shouldn't dig into my past. I scrubbed it. I'm like, that's kind of sus. But that didn't help, right? So when you have a situation like this, if you have a friend who tells you he groomed children as a prank bro, I do not care at that point if he actually did. Get rid of them. That's common sense logic. Can you imagine being at your workplace and having a coworker tell you, you know what? I diddled kids as a prank. Would you sit there and say, man, that's fine? No, you'd lose your mind. You'd be like, you did what? Die. But no, couldn't do that. So what happens then? The fascinating thing is what happens then is the server continues to maul and scream and break down. And after that, Nick Mullins decides that he is going to have an interview on Glass Raven's channel. Now, Glass Raven's a very sweet individual. I have no problems with them. I want to be clear here, but I will link them in the description by the end of this. Now, in that stream, not only does he make an absolute clown of himself, but he talks about how he is dressed up in courtroom attire because he is defending himself. And I ask him, and this guy has a tendency of filibustering. Essentially, you ask him a very basic question, and he tries to get you mixed up in the complexity of his answer to essentially confuse you. He got mad saying that we called him a pedophile, which Gallagher did. Gallagher doesn't care. Because he sees Nick wanting to keep around a 16-year-old that he said weird things to as very susamogus, right? Which makes sense. So Gallagher's not going to retract the claim to my knowledge because Gallagher do what Gallagher want. However, I asked him, do you think it's right to make a false allegation? He said, no, it's not. I said, then what about Router's accusation towards me? And this dude went on like a 2-minute tirade about how you believing something's not the same as an accusation. You believe in God, don't you? I cannot tell you how stupid that argument was. So I'm going to tell you what his strategy was. His strategy is, well, he says you groomed, but he didn't say you did anything sexual. I have a screen cap that says that your wife gets involved with your Discord shenanigans. Clearly, that could be grooming, because grooming is just preparing somebody for something. Which is an extremely disingenuous argument, because we all know in the online space, when we're talking about children, especially when you front-load it with children who are mentally ill in a Discord server, Lyle groomed them. Let's not play pretend that that's not what exactly he is saying, that I am grooming children. Let's not pretend that. That's dishonest, all right? Not only did he not provide evidence that I, quote-unquote, groomed my wife into this, which I do sometimes brush her hair. It's very cathartic. And we all know, because everybody's heard plenty of leak Senate calls. I'll tell you what. Put 1 in chat if you've ever heard my wife in a Senate call, and 2 if you haven't. And before you answer, Monstrous is not my wife. As much as she may want to be. She's going to murder me for that statement. I'm going to drive all the way from California to strangle me. So, alright. So, what happened, because we brought up Monstrous. After that stream, there was a person who used to be in Old Senate. They were there, I mean Old Senate, I mean like 2020 Senate. I don't remember why they left or got removed. But they're gone. Their name was Hee Haw. Now, let's go ahead and switch back to reading for just uno momento. And I'm going to show you something very fascinating. So, what happened was they decided for some reason to talk about Monstrous's kid. And let me explain to you something about talking about Monstrous's kid. Murder is the response. Because they weren't saying, I heard she has a daughter or whatever. Just, adorable stuff like, oh, isn't she a good mom? It was this. Because they were talking about the liberals. Because, the liberals want to trans all the kids. Instead of just, literally anything else. Hee-haw. Generally speaking, being offensive just to piss people off is more likely to be safe, edgy, or punching up humor. I recall in the Senate, they kept incessantly spamming right in with Biden throughout the 2020 election. Jace and Sarah did it because they thought it was hilarious. They were doing it ironically. Jace isn't even American. I vote third party anyways. Hee-haw. I'm also pretty sure Monstrous's child is biologically male. Now, I want to be very clear here. Very, very clear here. Why was this a topic of conversation in any way, shape, or form? Because later on we'll find in different sections, I don't know if I have it on hand, of the moron known as Nick defending this. Because Nick made a new server and this moron's in it. The person who said they groomed children as a joke or as a prank actually kicked this guy. So the dude that has admitted to grooming kicked this guy, but the guy who's just a creep or claims that he's just weird said, hey, person who talks about somebody's kid's genitals, come into my server. Now, the reason why I zoomed in is because, fun fact, when Monstrous saw this, Monstrous, in fact, lost her mind. So what did she do? She goes to the 90 Router's Twitter account. And Monstrous did what Monstrous do. Is there a reason why your server is discussing a toddler's genitals? I'm just curious. Weren't you just in hot water for a staff member talking to a 16-year-old? And let's be clear, it is your server. A toddler in preschool, by the way. Now, did Router apologize for this? Remove the person, remove the mods, and set him straight? 1, if you thought that's what he did. 2, if you think that he just deleted his Twitter account and the minute anything about VX or Novak came out, he just handed the server over to somebody else. Well, what do you know? The twos have it. So that's exactly what happened. Now, really fun fact. Don't go to the Twitter account for Router. Because it's back up, but it's not his. Here's the kicker. I got Smash Bandicoot's running it now. He took the name. Smash Bandicoot took this idiot's name. I'm sorry, that is funny to me. Like, he won't interact with me anymore, but he will go everywhere else. Because he posts that stupid, like, that gross, vile, Nesky Donkey Kong animation he posts everywhere. Like, it is Smash Bandicoot. Because apparently this guy did a video on Smash, and Smash do what Smash do. But he won't come back. Farewell, my sweet Egyptian prince. We will know you as we have always known you.
I will take you to the toilet.
Now, real quick, before we continue, because I do want to bring a certain individual on, but we need to get through something first, alright? So, 90s Router decided he wasn't going to take this bullying anymore. How dare these channels come at him? He's an innocent boy. Where did I put it? Put it here? No? I will have to find a link. One moment. Vlad sent it to me. So I will find it. Aha. Here it is. Now, this is labeled as Discord's biggest creep. Now, I want you to be aware, Discord has had a lot of people that are child predators. Looking at you, Minecraft. Looking at you, Brony community. Looking at you, furries. Looking at you, insert other name of group here, because, yes. So let me go ahead and get back into the normal view. We're going to go through his video where he defends himself because he is such a victim. But you know what? I am the biggest Discord creep. Now, what have I done that's creepy? He doesn't know. He's never going to know. Boy's skull is hollow. Which three people he mentions are creep? Apparently Ace, me, and Vlad. Now, the funny thing is, his thumbnail is Fantastic Four-like, so he has us all in Fantastic Four outfits. But Gallagher's not there, but there was a fourth spot right there. You idiot, Router. Perfect timing, and he couldn't do it. Alright, so let's see what he has to say, alright?
90s Router. 90s
And for the record, I haven't seen this video, so this is raw.
Router. 90s Router. 90s Router. Routers. The 90s Router is a cowardly He has made every attempt possible to do the exact opposite of something an otherwise rational, normal person would do.
True!
Uh-oh. It looks like it's all over, boys. They've outed me. I've been exposed and I'm currently in hiding. Did you see them? Tell them I'm dead. Well, it seems my dirty laundry's been aired for everyone to see.
I'm gonna have to put it a little slower because he talks fast, because he has issues.
Obviously, I have some explaining to do, but for the past few weeks, I've been targeted by not one, but 3 different goobers. Apparently, there's a fourth, but this kid's just a hype man for the rest of them, so his opinions don't matter.
Targeted! He's been targeted. He hasn't been talked about. He hasn't been directed towards things. And to be clear, I told him last week he has 24 hours to contact me before I move forward with what I'm going to do. The reason why I wanted to contact him wasn't to get him in calm, berate him, wasn't to insult him. It was to ask him one question. Did you know about Novak's history before you put him on staff? That was the only question I was going to ask. And the reason why... Okay, volume in which direction? You gotta tell me up or down. You're saying volume Lio tells me nothing. Okay, so it needs to go up again? Okay. Thank you. So, here's the thing. Going back to what I was saying, this guy has no clue about anything when it comes to these situations. Because what he has given me, whether he realizes it or not, is essentially open license to speculate. And I don't want to have to do that. Because my speculation would be that he knew. And just didn't say anything until the heat was on. Because what happened when it became public is this moron handed the server off to the child predator. While Nick Mullins tried to pretend it was his to try to get the heat off us. Because he's willing to sacrifice himself for the greater good. So, hopefully, it's louder now. So, let's find out.
You know, the irony of 3 people going after one and having the audacity to call them a pussy. So, what did I do to piss off a literal head with a mullet, Nancy Drew's retarded nephew, and the big gay lion himself?
I'm gay? That's news to me.
Well, I released a video on the 4th of January.
Can you guys hear it now? What? Tell me what's going on! Yes, okay, thank you.
Alleging that this dumpster was a groomer.
I'm a cum dumpster now? Huh. I'm not your mom, Router. I don't know how you could have gotten that mixed up.
Among other things. The video releases to some moderate success, and within the next few hours, I'm in a live stream to answer some questions about my video. So for clarification, I already knew this wasn't going to go well beforehand, but I did it anyways, despite knowing that there was a clear bias against me.
There was a bias against you because you said something dumb, and you knew it was going to go wrong beforehand because you asked whether or not that was my legal name because you're scared of litigation.
By one, I'm asked the same 3 questions. What proof do I have? Where did I source my information? And why would I make such a claim without any evidence? By a rotating cast of people that are terminally late to the live stream and therefore have to echo the same questions, and definitely not because this is literally all they have to pin me with, and repeating the same sentiment over and over is the easiest way to condemn someone in the public eye.
Cry more.
Absolutely not. So eventually Lio and Gilded Pooh join the call. Spoiler alert, they're all friends. Or maybe they're family, it's hard to tell with Lio. In the end,
Yes, actually, Vlad is part of my family. He's the weird uncle that comes out of the freaking woods like Sasquatch during a party, grabs the beer, says something that scars literally everybody who can hear it, chuckles, and walks back into the woods until the next party happens where he can, again, grab beer, say something that scars anybody who hears it, and then go back into the wood. Repeat cycle.
I do the decent thing, remove the video, and apologize for making such a baseless accusation. Everyone makes mistakes. I assumed this would put things to rest, and that this would be the end of it. Fast forward a week, and although the video was completely removed as promised, and I've been ousted for being a fraud that doesn't do his research, it would appear that I have some new members joining the Discord, some of which with accounts less than a week old, and never once acknowledging a warm welcome, but not suspicious in the slightest. Needless to say, things are looking up.
Oh my goodness, they are actually acting like this quote-unquote raid was a war zone. Vlad, next time a server gets raided, be meaner. Don't post like horrible things, but just be meaner, because these guys are absolute clowns.
So on January 12th, my former server was raided with allegations of a PDF file in the mix, congregating and plotting right under our noses. With an open server like I had, this could be incredibly dangerous and incredibly irresponsible of me not to have taken this into consideration. And I was the server owner. How could I let this happen? As everything began to fall apart around me, suddenly, the screenshot was dropped. Could it be true? Was Nick really the monster they were painting him as? Did he
No, Novax is. And you ignored it.
so carelessly post this in the general chat, right under our noses? Did he make us for fools? Stay tuned for the exciting conclusion after this commercial break. Are you neurodivergent, terminally online, or young and easily impressionable? Maybe you have an aversion to loud noises and oddly specific threats. Well, if this sounds like you, consider joining the Senate today. If you've ever felt the need to be bullied relentlessly for having an opinion or disagreeing with a self-proclaimed man of God that calls people f***its on the internet to win arguments, then this might be the place for you. If you've ever been confused about your gender, your identity, or your place in the world, and want to join a family of a 40-year-old who loves rubbing his greasy fat fingers all over Lionel, you may have just found
That and rubbing greasy fat fingers over pedophiles and trying to defend them. Also, Senate's been dead for like almost a year now. What are you on about?
your new home. Our always online staff of gooners and incels are here to call you racial slurs and make vague threats about exposing you all behind the comfort and security of the internet. Join now.
It's a funny thing that he talks about people saying racial slurs. Because one of your staff members does, buddy boy. And we're going to get to that. Also, no mention of bays in my milk. 0 out of 10. Absolute joke.
So the raid was over. The miners were removed, and we were converted to an 18-plus server. Most of us battered and bruised, a few holding each other and crying in the corner, and I, the 90s router.
That's actually... I actually believe that. I know he's trying to be like sarcastic, but I believe that's what happened.
Stood silent with my underwear wedged halfway up my ass, as the heroes and do-gooders high-fived each other while walking away.
Actually, we were extremely frustrated that you were so doggone stupid you had to be forced to do something.
A post was made pointing the finger at Lio Convoy, and Ace Space, before later retracting Ace, as he's clearly the innocent party, and has nothing to do with this whatsoever.
The funny thing is, Novax was the one who claimed it was Ace. And then Novax, like, refused to actually acknowledge that. So I wound up getting in Novax's DMs, and I'll post them when the video hits. Because they're on Google Drive. I did not take Novax seriously. I just made fun of him the entire time. Because this dude, look, there are people who say that I have anime speeches or I talk tough or whatever. This is just how I talk. This dude literally has anime monologues. You really need to go to Ace's stream where I read out my DMs, because the creep's trying to say that I was ableist to him. How was I ableist to him? I guess calling him a doofus and a dork are slurs now.
The next day, another live stream was hosted, and Nick was put on display as the truly disgusting man that he was. His reputation was over if he couldn't clear his name. It took weeks of messaging Ace Space, the live stream host, to get an interview. But all was in vain. His only glimmer of hope would come with a live stream hosted by one Glass Raven to clear the air. Meanwhile, I was the centerfold of the art commentary community's drama, as the individual that would allow a file
Vlad's art commentary confirmed!
to run rampant in a server full of minors. Some good news, though, as Nick was able to clear his name, at least with Gilded Pooh and Lio, but things would only get worse as another moderator, Novax, would be accused of the exact same thing, but this time with proof. Since then, I've been cowering away in the Discord server, terrified of the outside world, or the internet outside the world, I guess.
Well, actually, I believe that too, because how long did it take you to do it? Oh, a week. That's right.
I've closed off invites to my Discord, handed ownership over to Novax, the Twitter in question, deactivated my Twitter, and ignoring the increasing waves of criticism and questions, even going as far as to block comments from my channel. The coward I am, I'm ashamed. Okay, so clearly I've been hamming it up for the past 5 minutes, and with such serious
I don't know. I think that's all pretty accurate. You are a coward.
allegations, where could I possibly be going with this?
Also, I want to be clear. This guy seems to think that he's going to get doxxed over this. I have no intention of doxing you, Router. I don't care. Like, I don't care who you actually are behind whatever goofy facade you have, because you've already shown me your actual nature, so who cares?
So this is Gilded Pooh. His mullet and flannel combo tell me that he is wealthy and privileged, nor...
First of all, Vlad is not me. Vlad literally shows his face on every video. This dude's so uninformed, he can't even tell that Vlad does not, in fact, have a mullet. As far as, he's not part of the wealthy class, well, no, why would he be? He's not a pedophile. Secondly, he owns his house, dude. How about you?
Or is he gold-plated? But his attitude towards the situation leads me to believe that he thinks he smells like roses, if you catch my drift.
Maybe he does. I don't know. I haven't gotten close enough to smell him. You want to?
In fact, he was the channel I heavily misrepresented in my Lio Convoy video, which I didn't. I pretty strongly echoed his points. He just didn't like that it was in the same video I called his gooning buddy a possible murder. He was all...
Actually, no, he didn't like the fact that even representing his video, you were off and stupid and dumb. Cry more.
Also responsible for the raid that took place on the 12th of January, and as we've yet to turn up anyone else that may have been sending invites, he was the only one responsible for the raid. But let's talk about that. See, this message implies that he's so...
Also, the fun thing is, nobody else has to create a new invite if the one you have has unlimited invites to it. It could have been anybody at that point.
Fully after my moderator, Nick, and considering when he joined, the first thing he brought to my attention was this. I'm led to believe that this message was the backing for his raid in the first place, and out of context, this message response to a minor is pretty damning.
No, that's not why it happened. You're dumb.
But that...
Dodging the gooning buddy allegations. Well, Chris, it's because you're my gooning buddy. Vlad isn't. You're my gooning buddy. Come on.
That's why context always plays a crucial role in...
I told you that Google Doc about you being gay is coming along, and the reason why I know you're gay is because you're gay for me.
Context, as you'll soon figure out, it
The man's gonna show up at my house with a gun.
isn't something in these idiots' vocabularies. In fact, I noticed over the last month, they tend to trip over it all the time. Here's the context. Does it make sense now? It's a joke. Maybe not a good one, but even I'm liable for dropping some corny-ass zingers.
Which is exactly why he voted to keep the 16-year-old in, knowing he's a 16-year-old, and knowing full well the 16-year-old's been inappropriate with other people, and nobody asked the kid the question. You're dumb.
Now, this quickly derailed Gildan and claimed that he still found Nick creepy, but not a pedophile.
Oh, don't worry. We got plenty of evidence that he's creepy. We're going to get into that very soon, once this video is over. I promise you.
He only remained long enough to scramble for any other weightless accusations to hold against my community and cause as much chaos as possible, but if this was all,
Brother, he wasn't the one scrambling in that stream.
then clearly he didn't look very hard into this accusation, do some snooping of his own, or ask any follow-up questions before making the accusations.
Still better than what you said to me.
Little ironic that they held me to the same standard just a week ago. He's also the man that's gone on record as stating that people in my community were, quote-unquote, talking about toddlers' genitals.
Because you were. That's exactly what you were doing.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. So here's the context.
Yes, okay, read that out, and?
It's someone...
If I recall correctly, Staline, Sarah, came out as trans and goes by Seraphina now. Monstrous gave birth to a child who she strongly insists is female. That's exactly what you were doing, you gross, creepy weirdos.
calling a possibly mentally ill woman discussing forcing transitioning on her unborn child, or that, after the fact, she may have. Now,
If there's anything that Monstrous is mentally ill for, it's DILFs. I'm telling you right now. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. I'll get there very shortly, Vlad.
it seems crazy to twist a topic about a woman and her forced ideologies about her children into talking about children's genitals.
It's what you idiots were doing, you dishonest creep.
And although this may seem crude to discuss in the first place, Gildan, you're the one that approves.
Targeted harassment.
So I find
Yeah, targeted harassment towards you, not towards somebody's kid, you deranged animal.
it odd that you weren't hitting me up for an invite to join in yourself. But I guess that's only
That's because you banned him, that's why.
if you're against someone you don't like. Or better yet, you don't know. Let me get this straight. It's okay to bring up topics pertaining to my child.
Let me go ahead and give everybody the context for this, since he's, again, dishonestly framing it. So, all he did was put in the edited message. Let me show you the context for that edited message. Router, I'm busy trying to get my kid to bed. Awful of a situation this may be, it doesn't really take priority right now. I guess he's still putting his kid to bed because he still hasn't taken care of anything properly. Vlad is the one that responded to that. Would you let your kid, once it turns 16, to join a Discord server and refer to itself as a twink? He asked a direct question to somebody who brought up on his own that he has a kid. This is not him pulling it out of the ether like you're trying to frame it as. And I don't want to hear anybody talking trash about his kid in the comments. You do, you're banned. Clear. But that is the context there, and you have intentionally left it out because you're a snake. Unplug yourself, Router.
But not someone you associate with? Because the way Gildan sees me and my community, a majority of you guys watching, as well as anyone who gossips about someone he's close to, he'd like to.
Kick their door down and shoot them in the fucking head.
One
Based!
other thing I want to share on this matter, and although it doesn't directly pertain to Gildan, it did happen during his raid, and since it's been brought up several times since, I remember somebody asking me during the raid if I allow people to pay to mod on my server, and I told them no, and I thought the question was a bit odd. Well, they hit me with a gotcha moment when they screenshotted my Patreon tiers, and one such tier, Discord moderator. Once again, pretty damning evidence, but oop, there's that context again.
It was a jab, you moron, not a claim!
That tier is just a title, and a not-so-clever nod to a sweaty, overweight neckbeard, not unlike someone we know. In fact,
Your mom?
If you bother reading the description, it says, no, you won't be forced to moderate my Discord, and as a pretty poor joke to follow, without a well-decorated resume and a pint of blood for science purposes.
I'm curious about what Novak's put on his, since you didn't vet him at all.
If you dig even further, not once in the tier rewards do I ever mention Discord moderation or Discord in general. Gotcha.
This is literally the best this moron can scramble together. I love this. Oh, and Nick, I know you're listening to the stream. I hope you're compiling more notes that I'm going to, quote-unquote, lie about. I know what you've done, buddy. We're going to get to you soon.
Honestly, I've never seen such a group of bumbling idiots stumble so hard over every bit of context. Now,
look in the mirror sometime.
Considering all evidence provided, I would never recommend or suggest any sort of harassment towards the people involved. But just remember to keep in mind what Gilded thinks.
I am in favor of harassment on the internet.
Come harass me, buddy. Come on in. See what happens. It'll be funny. We will make sport of you.
love cyberbullying.
In fact, you can go to Vlad's Putopia. They love new people there. They love harassment there. So go ahead and hop in. A-Space.
All right, so this is A-Space. He's a seeker of truth, and it doesn't matter what it takes. He wants to tackle the hard topics and make sure that the right people are held accountable and the wrong people are vindicated. He's an upstanding guy with a reputation to protect. So let's...
The right people are held accountable and the wrong people are vindicated. Oh, man. Good job poisoning the well there, freak.
see how well that holds up against what I found. So Ace was the one that initially reached out to me. He said that he had some questions about the video, and I agreed, even asking if I would be bullied and jokingly responded.
And yes, that is true. Apparently, Router was bullied out of Vlad's server before dropping his video on me, because even they took... Now, keep in mind, there's an entire section in Vlad's server about me, because people there really hated me until, like, you know, a few months ago. And they bullied this guy out.
Something that I wouldn't mind it, but he was clear that he wanted to keep it civil and on point. That really didn't turn out to be the case, as I was called a coward several times, as well as an idiot for releasing something that wasn't finished and had no proof of anything I mentioned. This...
Well, yeah, because that's what happened. I'm sorry, those are facts. That doesn't mean we're not being civil. Could have been worse. You've heard Senate calls, allegedly. You know how those used to be. What happened to you on the stream is nothing like that.
This is completely fair, and I was in the wrong. I definitely deserved it, and I'm not against receiving the same treatment I give others on my channel. My community felt a bit different about it, though, and as word got back to Ace, he reached out for a follow-up interview one-on-one. I ignored it as I was pretty over the situation by that point, and I just wanted to make new videos. He was also nice enough to reach out to me during the raid and tell me how, quote-unquote, messed up he thought it was that all of this was taking place, and then proceeded to ask me for another follow-up interview to clear the air. The pattern being that this guy really wanted me on his live streams. Why? Because I'm the talking and focal point of this entire discussion. So, I ignored it. Afterwards, my mod at the time, Novax, makes an announcement blaming Lio and Ace for the raid. His friend Glass Raven reaches out for proof that Ace had anything to do with the raid, in which a moderator uncovers something incredibly odd. See, during the raid, my mod team turned on slow mode to stop the onslaught of messages while we decided how to deal with the raiders and attempting to make the server 18+. But someone was caught going against the mod's requests and creating a new thread so that people could continue to spam freely. So, if you didn't catch all that, I'll give you a bit more context. Ace reaches out in regards to the raid in saying that it was messed up, but then he's later caught disobeying the moderators and participating in the raid that he was so worried about.
Lol. Nick Mullins hard drive. That was funny. I don't care.
When provided evidence that he created the thread titled Nick Mullins hard drive, I see what you did there, he denies any involvement or that was ever him.
Actually, no, that's not what he denied. You're dishonest. What he denied was that somebody else was there that had his screen name was not him. That's what he was denying. He wasn't denying making the threat. He admitted to that. So you're lying.
Afterwards, he would backpedal when Nick would ask him why he would do such a thing. To be fair, I think he's like Lio, and he has a bit of an ego. I wouldn't be surprised if a majority of his
I'm nearly 40 and I collect action figures. I'm not allowed to have an ego. That got turned in a long time ago.
followers do too, but I guess maybe he assumed that he could say one thing to one person, a different thing to another, and
Also, I see the way that Ace's friends treat him on stream. If he has an ego, I haven't seen it. He lets them bully him.
we wouldn't figure that out. All things considered, though, his deceit, claiming to care about the raid, then caught actively participating in it, and during all of this, he either never gathered the evidence himself, ironic coming from him, or he neglected the Gilded Poo and myself that cleared Nick of his allegations the night prior. Because the very next day, he's proceeding to use the same screen grab to continue to paint my moderator and my server as...
What do you mean he? That's Netherless. In the top right-hand corner, that's Neverless. That is not Ace. How do you lie to people's faces with something like this on the screen? Are you prison mate Luke?
in a predator den. Ace, I may have pulled my information from Kiwi Farms, but at least I'm not misrepresenting the information on purpose for clout. So fast
You literally did, though. You dishonest snake.
forward 2 weeks later, and Nick reached out to Ace multiple times for a chance to clear his name. I'll remind you, something I did pretty quickly upon request for Ace, despite having proof that he was an active participant in the raid. And
Vlad says that thread was made after they tried shutting down channels to cover up the allegations. True.
after a week or so of dodging his messages, Ace eventually gets back to Nick to tell him that nobody's thought about him in weeks, and the topic is dead, which is an incredibly interesting phrase to use from someone who would have me on his stream for making such bold claims, and considering the topic is dead, Ace, according to you, is still on the loose.
Yes. Yes. He didn't want to continue talking about it because he was tired of it. I wonder why. And you're also dishonestly framing this because by the time you reached out or Nick reached out to Ace was a bit of time after the raid. You weren't being talked about every single day up to then, you dishonest snake.
Why would the topic be dead? Isn't that something you and your community claim to care about? Let me wrap
I do, so I talked about it.
this up by making sure I understand this correctly. If I don't respond to you people, I'm a coward. But when Ace does it for 2 weeks to a guy he accused, dude, I went on his stupid live stream the first day. Real interesting who you guys deem pussies.
Well, I mean, you are, because then you ran, you hid from me, you handed your server over, and the moment Monstrous messaged you wanting a direct answer from you, you deleted your Twitter. You are a coward. Look, I've done some stupid crap. I didn't delete anything. I'm still here.
Alright, so we made it to the man, the myth, the lion himself. It's Lio Convoy.
I feel like that lion sometimes.
So Lio's taken a backseat to the entire drama since the beginning, only appearing in live streams and interviews to comment on the situation or
Brother, I did not take a back seat. I was there the whole time.
participating in my server's raid,
Yes, I did, and I'd do it again.
and only recently to call me out on YouTube.
I did, and you didn't respond, and I just told everybody why. Congratulations on looking further sus.
But as much as he likes to act as though he's innocent in all of this, one way or another, he's not. Whether he's calling the shots or making executive decisions, Lio's been pulling the strings for the majority of the time,
I am the string puller. I am the puppet master. Somebody get Metallica out here.
even if indirectly. My audience's actions may seem reflective of me because we either agree in one way or another, or I've influenced some new traits. No, I'm not going to be held accountable if you do something terrible to the furry community and I actively make fun of them, but people will definitely
That's why you cried, right? Because you have furries in your staff?
cite me as an instigator and an influencer for your actions. And it's the same way that Lio has conducted himself over a near decade online. From yelling at children on Discord calls, mistreating and threatening a mentally disabled woman, he has incredibly narcissistic tendencies and is in a
How is that evidence of narcissism? You're not a doctor and you don't know. He got angry at somebody. He says I'm out-of-pocket crap. He has narcissism. You're stupid.
Kumu's liar convoy, the full story. Well, it's clear that Lio has a
By the way, Akumu's not going to back you either, buddy.
tendency to lie or twist the truth to crop out just enough so that he can cover his own fat ass. It's one
Actually, no. If I were to actually go look at those videos, which I haven't because I don't care, I can almost promise you that he's not really fully aware of things. So we've talked about a lot of stuff. Still in contact with them, Router. Stop citing people you don't know.
of the many traits that Ace and others would share with him. Now, Lio would have you believe that he's a changed man and that he would never do that anymore. I think he would even have you buy that the Rosa call changed his perspective. But he's shown himself more than once in public, on live stream,
Hold on. Why don't you be honest about where these screencaps came from? Because it's on my community post. One of your idiots came in and randomly said, it's wrong to make fun of somebody for their disabilities. I responded that I don't. And then I made fun of this guy for immediately backpedaling. That's not the same as being an ableist piece of garbage. Can you frame anything, honestly? When you put a frame on the wall, do you hang it upside down?
and if he's willing to speak to people like this in front of viewers, it's
Oh no, I said something mean and direct to somebody. That must mean that I say worse behind the doors. Though what I say in public is the same I say behind doors.
only a wonder what he's willing to do behind closed doors.
Your mom.
Let me give you a few examples of the colorful language his followers exhibit. And keep in mind,
Gallagher's not one of my followers.
most of these people claim to be at least liberal in one way or another.
Gallagher never claimed to be a liberal, neither did Vlad. Vlad also isn't a follower of mine.
They definitely promote female empowerment, or at least I know Lio does.
Yes, I do. Kane, by the way, is absolutely not a follower of mine. Here's the thing. I promise you, if Kane hopped into my server, he'd be banned in under 30 seconds or ran out screaming.
You are a worthless piece of that has got no life, got no friends.
Yep,
got
2
no
years
job,
ago.
Does no
Is this the best gotcha you've got? Something 2 years ago that got altered? Really? Man, he really had to scrape, didn't he?
thing. So what kind of social life has gotten in the way?
Interesting clip for him to use, because he admitted he has no friends in real life. And I'm talking about Router, he admitted that.
And they seem extremely concerned about transgender equality, even possibly for unborn or extremely young children. Now, do I think that these are actually
That's not Kane. That's not my guy. Kane's not my guy.
progressive liberals who support equality and diversity and
So since we're going to go this way, you support child predators. That doesn't just mean you keep them in your server. You clearly support them because they're part of your community. By your standards, you support them.
acceptance? No. These people are more than likely
Oh, he's got the red eyes, guys. Watch out. He's going for the throat.
mentally ill and using whatever movement fits their bias as long as they can use it as an excuse to attack people they don't like. Now,
Oh, like you do? Because the people you attack are usually mentally ill individuals. Now, I'm not justifying what they've done. I want to be clear. But that's like 90% of your content, bro.
Lio has admitted to having a young audience in the past,
I have? When did I admit that?
though apparently his server is 18 plus, as most
No. I don't have a young audience. In fact, I'm going to bring up my statistics right now. Now, be aware, if people lied, I can't help that. Do audience. Do. channels your audience watches. Why is Just a Robot on here? Die. Let's see here. Where does it show the peoples? Most of my audience is between 18 and 34. I've got like a couple people that are 65. Freaking based! You dishonest creep.
Most of these communities are, but let's not act like anybody's checking IDs at the door. And unless you are, this 18+ tactic works the same way as any website.
I mean, I'm just being blunt, Beast Ghost. I'm sorry if it upsets you, but I'd rather be honest and be dishonest.
Click 18+ to enter or no to leave. SWAT teams aren't breaking down doors and kicking in teeth of liars, Lio, and I assume you know that. I only
Well, yeah, because your teeth are still intact, allegedly.
bring this up because although some of these people claim to be over 18 and even more of them claim to be in their 30s, this is representative of the behavior of a 14-year-old in a Call of Duty lobby in 2012.
With them, yes, but that's not what I did.
That or Lio on a call with a minor.
No, I'm not.
Oh no, that Jax call is an absolute mess. I'm not even
I
gonna
don't think
pretend
there's a better way
otherwise.
of describing Lio. He's a blubbering man baby that wants you to think that he's the coolest, smoothest, level-headed guy in the room.
I have never once called myself cool. This dude is delusional. Because here's what this clown does. He thinks that I perceive myself as a certain way, and therefore he constructs this idea of me in his mind that he then projects out to his audience. No. That is not how I see myself, and that is certainly not what I put out to the audience, or literally anybody. Half the time I'm in call fiddling with Transformers while we're talking about God knows what. I'm sorry, you're just not that clever, Router.
He certainly wants to be a vigilante or a hero, or he
I am the knight.
at least wants people to recognize that about him. But
Like, these people don't even know what vigilante is. I'm tired of that word being misused, you dishonest creep.
he's nothing more than a short-tempered crybaby that will quickly resort to screaming and name-calling if he can't outsmart you or intimidate you.
Well, the thing is, I can do literally all of that with you. I outsmarted you the minute you uploaded your video. Heck, I outsmarted you when you were doing your research, your 4 days of research for your video that you admitted to, because you had nothing. You had to come in desperate to Vlad's server to verify my name because you were scared of a lawsuit.
He acts like a bully on the internet because
I'm going to take your lunch money and eat it. Now, I want to be clear. I didn't say I'm going to just take your lunch money. I'm going to eat your lunch money.
his cardiovascular system wouldn't allow it in real life. The most threatening thing about Lio is the toys
Oh no! He took a shot at what he thinks is my weight. Something that can be and is being changed. Oh no, whatever will I do? The fun thing about the difference between us here is that what physical about me can change, your nature won't because you choose not to.
sword he carries around under his belt.
I carry a toy sword. When did that happen?
Even online, the majority of his predator hunting takes place in a room full of his peers because he's too afraid to do it alone.
You have no clue about that because believe it or not, that wasn't true. If you're trying your best to gather from what you have external, you're going to fail. The majority of the predator hunting I did was literally behind closed doors.
Now
I'm
he's
sorry that you're stupid, but that's not my fault, that's yours.
out. And that leads me to the meat of this video.
Oh, he did predator hunting around his peers. That means he's a coward. I'm dealing with literally the worst of humanity. Are you stupid?
Novaks. I met
Let's see how well he frames this. Let's see if he's going to be honest.
Novaks roughly about a month ago when I made a video, and in the middle, I
You gave your server over to somebody you knew a month ago?
requested anyone with knowledge modding for Discord to reach out to me in the comments in hopes of making
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. You're calling me terminally online, but you look for people to mod your Discord via resume? You gotta be kidding me!
making my server a little more fun, comfortable, and user-friendly.
Yes, with all the creeps and weirdos and balding man-children that are in there.
He reached out and offered to help me, and I immediately got him into Discord and set him up as a moderator.
Of course you did. Because why do any sort of checking on the guy? Why try to figure out why his account's so young? Why do any, especially when he starts saying such things like, well, hopefully they don't look into me because I wipe my footprint. Why do you think people do that, Router? They don't do it because they were innocent uwu babies just doing like, what's the word? Avon calls on people.
I didn't conduct an interview or ask any follow-up questions, because I had a small community of about 50 people.
Because you're a moron.
And at the time, considering no one was offering to mod for me, I was just happy to take any help I could get.
Delete the server. Simple.
Throughout his time in the server, he was friendly, helpful, if not a bit odd. But primarily it was his god complex that he later admitted to having. Over time, he would tell me about how he would attempt to, and did, take
That is funny because he accused me of having a god complex and he said, demonstrate to me a god complex. I told him, look at his messages.
down some bad people on the internet, and how they were after him as well. A lot of this came off in the form of his god complex, that he would protect my community, sacrifice himself. Just odd, but otherwise harmless.
Fun fact you'll all see when I do the video, the dude threatened to put me on a cross.
Honestly, it got pretty tiresome, and it's none of my business, and after a certain point, I just started to tune it out.
Wait, so hold on. You saw this guy act like a complete Looney Tune, say the dumbest of possible things, and you said this is fine? There's an audio I heard not too long ago of somebody telling another person, you can't realize you're stupid, because to realize you're stupid, you'd have to have cognitive ability to realize that you are being stupid, and you can't do that if you're stupid. Case in point.
Now, it wasn't until I was given any of this evidence that I ever really thought much about it, but considering Novak spoke a lot about pedophiles and groups that he was after, trying to take him down, I wasn't really sure that this wasn't something that was being coordinated by them in the ACC, and...
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? You think it was ArtCC people that were after Novaks? Are you Jar? Are you Jar? Are you Raj? Are you the anti-Jar? The ACC doesn't even know who you are. They will after this stream, but they don't even know who you are. You're delusional, and not even in a fun way.
Well, they really haven't given me much trust or faith, and as they proved time and time again, smearing my name, context be damned, that was the only goal.
You weren't smeared. People told the truth about you, and you didn't like it. This is the first time you've ever gotten any pushback for any of your nonsense. Suck it up, Buttercup.
They already brought one mod into this, and considering he cleared his name, and then they continue to try and lambaste him, it wouldn't be a shock.
Though after our stream, we just called him a creep and sus. To my knowledge, nobody's still calling him a pedophile. Wasn't really clearing his name so much as moving the goalpost.
To think that this was bullshit too. Now, Novak did try to maintain his innocence the best that he could. He gathered proof to clear his name, and honestly, after all that he did for me, I wanted to believe him, and I wanted him to prove that he wasn't the guy that they were claiming he was. I still do in a way, but the evidence got to be way too much, and everything I read made me f***ing sick. And in the end, I just decided to cut ties with him. The one thing I can't get out of my head, though, is if a community cares so goddamn much about other people's safety, and to see justice come to the people who deserve it, why would they plaster this all over social media, on their live streams, and make a proper investigation that much harder to conduct?
Because it's not a proper investigation that's hard to conduct. At all. We have literally no information to hand any authority about him other than Google Docs that don't show his real name, don't go show anything to that. Police aren't going to look at that and say, I'm going to follow up on this. They're going to be like, okay, we're going to put this in the file and hope for the best. What he's doing here is he's trying to pivot the point from, I put in somebody I knew for a month that turned out to be a child predator, and I kept him around hoping he had evidence against it. And now it's, well, if they really cared, buddy, don't even try to talk about caring about other people. Lord knows you don't. And in fact, I have people in this chat who will literally confirm one of my biggest foibles is I care too doggone much. Chris has given me no shortage of crap for that. Vlad has called me certain slurs over and over again for caring too much about people. I'm sorry, that's not something you can level against me. Is it dumb? Yeah, but you know what? That's who I am.
Why act like you care about the safety of children when this evidence is about one person, but you've plastered another's face all over your thumbnail?
I plastered 3 faces on my thumbnail, actually. And your buddy didn't have a face to plaster. Well, you use his profile picture like I did. It's the best you could do. Come on.
It doesn't really seem like you care about anything more than points and clout.
I'm mad you called me out and pointed out that I am horrifically mishandling things, so I'm gonna fuss at you about how you did it.
Anyways, I'd like to say that this means that the server is safer and should make everyone a part of it much more comfortable. But as you're watching this video, the server's gone. It shouldn't be much of a surprise that the ACC has made any community open or 18 plus feel pretty slimy and gross.
I mean, mine's fine. What's your excuse? Oh yeah, you hire somebody after a month that winds up being a child predator and you don't take responsibility for it.
Honestly, I wasn't prepared for the responsibility of running a server, and I don't think I ever will be. I don't have the desire to make tough...
Brother, how are you? I'm not going to take a shot at this kid or his parenting ability because I don't know them, and that's out of pocket. But brother, you have a kid. How can you not have the responsibility of running something as simple as a Discord server? Like, I'm sorry, but no. That's so dumb.
Tough split-second decisions. I just want to write jokes. I enjoyed my time getting...
Well, maybe you should stick to the Discord server because your jokes are garbage.
To know a lot of you, but I think I prefer my company away from strangers on the internet. For nearly a month, I've been targeted by this group of pitsmears and people from the art commentary community.
Who from the art commentary community to come at you other than me? And the only reason I was put there is because I was close to Peaches. Now, technically, you could put me on there because I did a video literally about art a couple months ago, but still, this is dumb.
And if you aren't aware, these are the people that follow Lio. They latched onto him through Hopeless Peaches, another art commentary channel, some time back, but that's not important at the moment. So since my original live stream with A-Space, Lio, and Gilded Poo, among others, people in their circle of friends or people they would associate with would join my Discord server. Why? Well, I can't say for sure, but if I had to guess, it would be to snoop around and try and dig up some dirt on myself and my community.
Or to see if you're doing what you're supposed to, which of course you didn't.
Basically, I was trying to not get kicked so I could get more information on the people.
Seems only fair because...
This is a complete sarcasm and some of the pettiest crap from a group of so-called adults pretending to do the important things on the internet. Vlad has never once in his life said he will do the important things on the internet. Look, I'm the idiot who goes with that. I'm the moron who does that. Vlad doesn't. In fact, when you have to make Vlad talk about morals and the right thing, he's the angriest man you'll ever meet. He actually loses his mind. And the reason why is the same reason why I'm getting irritated. I can't just make fun of an idiot. I can't just point out some doofus that made a bad video. Children always have to get hurt because the people around them always tend to want to touch kids. I'm tired of it. Can one of you please burn down a nursing home, rob a bank, commit tax fraud, something other than kids, please. Please, I am asking for some variety. And before you get mad saying there's some liberal asking for diversity, no, I want variety, okay? I'm tired of this.
Because I said some nasty things about Lio that it only seems right they find some nasty things to say about me. And nasty they have. In fact, they've requested me join several live streams. They've called me out on Discord, on Twitter, in my DMs, and even resorted to leaving comments on unrelated videos about the drama.
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Want to trade places from where I was in 2024? You die.
So let's clarify. I'm not hiding. I've been here the entire time, and unless I want to try and scrub my entire digital footprint from the internet, I'll remain here. But understand this. Throughout the last few weeks, I've kept reading and hearing the 90s Routers Discord, the 90s Routers channel, the 90s Routers responsibility. And you know, you're right. It was my Discord, my channel. It's attached to my name, and I'll talk about it whenever I damn well please. Hopefully by this point in the video, you'll start to understand why I haven't said anything until now.
Because the truth of the matter is he put this out preemptively, and this is what's so funny about it. And we're going to get to that in a bit here. And I'm sorry it's taking me so long to bring this other person on. I wanted to get through this video first. He was waiting till my video dropped to respond to that. But he did this preemptively because I guess he realized he's not going to get anywhere.
These people have no integrity. They don't care about catching bad guys or rescuing the innocent. They want a juicy story to tell to their community. If I've learned one...
I have no integrity, which is why I did a 4-hour video at one point, because I was wrong about things. I have literally done addendums when I talk about creeps and weirdos about things I've gotten wrong to inhuman creatures that have touched kids because I want to be that accurate. Holy Lord above.
Thing from them, though, is that they hate themselves almost as much as they hate each other. This person exposes that person, exposes this person, and it's an endless circle of hate and misery. These people exude, don't f with me because I'm unbathed and terminally online. They've gone...
Brother, we didn't have to hire a Discord mod.
gone after my Twitter, my YouTube, my...
Oh no! They've gone after it! Dude, I really hope you never actually become part of the content cycle. You will not survive. You will not know how to respond.
Discord in my comments, direct messages to the point that I just deactivated.
See, that's proof he saw Monstrous' message. He deleted it because of Monstrous. You absolute joke!
My f***ing Twitter for the sake of my mental health. I've hidden comments in my videos because I'm not going to allow them to skew the narrative or force me to talk about something until I'm ready to do so.
Suck it up, Buttercup!
They aren't my community, and they damn sure don't care about them. I plan to address this on my own time, and now that I have, I am done.
Oh, we'll see about that, because we ain't got started yet, buddy.
I don't care what comes next. I'm moving on. They can continue making videos and live streams about me. They can continue to prove how important I am to them. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit what they think. It's my...
I don't care what they think, which is why I did this entire video talking about them. And yes, I know that can be sometimes a bit of a throwaway comment. He's trying to say that he doesn't care about our values towards him. But I'm sorry, we're accurate and you're not. You let a predator run your Discord because you couldn't be bothered to handle it yourself. If you can't handle your Discord, and I have plenty of mods on mine, but if you can't handle running one by yourself that's so small, you shouldn't have one.
My audience, the people who enjoy me for my content, enjoy me for me, that are a part of my community that I
need to get better taste.
I owe anything to, and I apologize for how long it's taken me to address this mess. For anyone who chooses to leave, know that I appreciate the time that you've given me, and I hope you can find even better content in the future. For those of you who will choose to stay, just know that you may see these people in the comments from time to time. You can feel free to engage them, but just know that no matter what
how in the world are they going to engage us when you've hidden all of us from your channel?
They say or think, they aren't very bright, and they aren't open-minded.
Yes, we should be open-minded about the guy who let a pedophile run around in a server after he was told the dude's a pedophile. Very smart.
So it's just best to ignore them and let them rot at the bottom of the comments list. Unfortunately, though, I'll have to break a promise I made a while ago, and I'll no longer be taking new requests. It should be no surprise that after all of this, I have no interest in discussing groupers or pedophiles ever again.
Okay, so why are you saying you have no desire to talk about them? I'm not any of those things. You can suck on it.
Started stuff while I work on bigger projects in the background that I'm incredibly excited for you all to see. For those in the ACC or...
He criticized you and I for only caring about content when it comes to creeps, but this guy just straight up says he will never do it again, implying he only made this vid on you for content. Yes, that is absolutely true.
Anyone attached to Lio, I know that you think you're special, and I know you think you deserve answers. But the simple truth is that you aren't. You aren't special, nor is Ace, or Glass, or Yen, or Gilded, nor me.
Yen recommended comment, yes.
Lio certainly is.
I am absolutely special. I am the most special. Why? Because I collect action figures and I fiddle with them with my hands, clearly.
But neither him or you will get another second of my time. And
We'll see about that.
And I don't f***ing owe you anything.
I mean, you owed me an apology video that you never followed up on. You owe your community not having predators around. Oh, and you probably should have responded when I tagged you. You're a coward.
Shout out to my patrons, Jessica, Pulped Milk, George, Jesse, Gar.
Oh my goodness, you are so unspeakably dumb. You're sitting here thinking that people are directly targeting you, actually harassing, targeting you, and you list these people who support you on your page. Are you stupid?
Guardian of Dead Wolves, Loading Please Wait, Min Min, Xiao, and Konosuke7. Thank you to my channel artist and editor. Links will be in the description. So until next time.
I think your channel artist needs a better gig. Now, I've had some fun with this. It's been about an hour. We're not done yet. But I have a couple of people who want to hop in to the call. And instead of messaging me directly, they just tag me in the chat. Way to go, guys. So I will ask for Lou and Sunny to hop in. And a certain scraggly-haired individual is not going to like one of the names I just mentioned. Now we wait for them. I know, Muffin, you want in, but we'll see about that. Right now, we're trying to get through things. And that's Sunny. Hello, Sunny.
Hello.
Say hi to the chat.
Hi, chat.
Now, why don't you tell the chat what you've been doing the past week?
Just a little bit of trolling. So... essentially what happened is I learnt about the router situation, and I thought it'd be really funny to join the Discord with Gallagher, because watching Gallagher at his craft is honestly incredible. I know it was funny at the time to play stupid, and then when I was asleep, that's when the raid happened. Everyone got booted, and it was only like me and like 2 other people left in the server. So I ended up just playing even stupider. And I eventually made my best friend, my BFF, which is Nick Mullen. I ended up getting a lot of information off of him that I'm sure that you have on you.
Yes, I do. And shortly, I'll be doing some going over of it. I'll have you hop out to spare your sanity because you've heard this guy enough. But I want to tell the chat. Let me explain to you something about Sunny. The minute Sunny sees something going on and finds out there's some weirdo, Sunny will immediately hop in and start doing the ooh-woo girl voices. And these idiots never at any point suspect that she's up to anything. Never, ever, ever. Because Sunny did this in Fox Mafia and got a ton of calls from them, and has done it to Nick here. And Nick had absolutely no idea, and he's going to say otherwise, because he has to recontextualize everything in his brain to cope. But had no clue that Sunny was doing this. So, thank you for your service, Sunny. I'll be sending you some gratitude in form of monetary payment later this week.
Oh, you actually? Oh, fuck yeah.
I told you I would.
Because the amount of stuff I heard.
Yes, and by the way, I recorded the voice messages he sent you because I have a feeling he's probably going to delete them. Has he said anything to you since the stream started?
I blocked him. He tried to. I blocked him the moment the stream started. I left the server and I blocked him. If you see it, I've sent it in our DMs. He tried to message me. The moment I basically said something in the live chat, and I guess because he said he was gonna watch it. Hi Nick, I don't know if you got this far. I know it's really hard to pay attention when it's not you talking. But yeah, no, he basically, obviously, I said something in the live chat back when the stream first started, and immediately, because obviously I'm a moderator in the chat, so you must have seen that. And then I saw him immediately trying to type in my DMs.
So, yeah.
My favorite.
Go ahead.
Please, oh my god, I'm begging you to play the last voice note that he sent me that I forwarded to you.
I'll be playing every single one of them. I have it recorded in this compilation.
I'm begging you to. It's my favorite one. But yeah, no. One of my favorite things that happened was we were in a VC together, and he was just talking. And to be clear to everyone, he does not shut the fuck up. I would be like, "Oh, what do you think about XYZ?" And then I would walk away and go do chores, and he would just talk and come back every few seconds and go, yeah, wow. Wait, what do you mean by that? And then I'd go off and I would do chores again. I spent a long time just folding clothes in a different part of my house. But my favorite part is he was telling me, he was like, Sonny, I know, Sonny, when all these people came in at the same time, I like marked them, I changed their names because I knew that they were all spies. And I was sat there like, oh yeah? And he was like, this Yen person specifically, this Yen person specifically, she just played like so stupid, like, and she had this facade of being like a really stupid, like, idiot girl, and then she overacted like she was like so dumb and naive, and just overacted like the pinnacle of a good person. And you can, I don't know if you're gonna play that call tonight, but you can hear me just go, yeah, who would do that?
Okay. Well, first of all, chat, go ahead and give Sunny the salute for their service. And the thing is that this guy gave Sunny a lot of stuff that we're going to go over. I'll go ahead and have Sunny hop out. I just wanted them to come in and have their little fun, because it's very late where Sunny is, because they're Welsh, unfortunately. But yes.
It's only midnight.
It's only midnight, but I'm going to go ahead and let you hop off. Thank you for coming in, and we're going to have some more fun as we go forward. Yes, you can plug.
Can I? If you wants to pay for my therapy, pay for my therapy at ko-fi.com/UntitledSunny, or I have commissions at sunnyscommissions.card.com. That's 2 R's in the card. Please pay for my therapy, because honestly, the amount of shit that I've heard, it's traumatizing. I'm just so sad he didn't write his poem about me, because he promised he was going to.
Oh, don't worry.
Today.
We'll talk about some of his other things, like his princess, here shortly, okay?
Not his prince.
Yes, we're going to be talking about the prince.
You guys have a good night.
Take it easy.
Bye, Nick. Bye, Lio.
Bye. Yes, Vlad, I saw your server announcement, don't worry. Oh, Lord. So, let me go ahead. When Nick found out I was doing a stream, because he thinks it's a video, because apparently people can't read what it is. Let me play you the audio he sent Sunny.
You know why this is good? You know why I'm so happy?
I have to let me turn this up, because he is very quiet. And I'm going to move it to real speed, because it's not that long. It's only about 10 minutes worth.
I'll give you a few reasons, actually. I'm so happy because that means I don't have to wait to work on my fucking videos now. And he's probably gonna lie, because, you know, you can't spell lie without fucking Lio, I guess. I don't know, that's not true. You know, if he goes and he actually produces a bunch of fucking nonsense, which looks to be the case because of the video title and everything else, yo, holy shit. Holy shit. I am so happy that he's framing it like this, because it gets me so hyped up, because I just feel like he's gonna say a bunch of shit that is gonna look so goddamn stupid and verifiably, provably false.
Local man does not recognize projection.
Oh, I can laugh. Dude, my phone is terrible at capturing my laughter, but I tell you, I am cackling like a fucking demon right now. Oh my god. I can't wait. I cannot fucking wait. I gotta see this. Yeah, hey, Lio, go ahead and smear people further. Go ahead and do that. And you fuckers over there, you guys say, oh, you guys should have reached out. You should have reached out to people, talking to me. They tell me I should have reached out to people. But they want to go and they want to sit there and rifle off at the mouth with a bunch of fucking nonsense. He's probably gonna put up the fucking screenshot again where
Oh, don't worry, Sonny. We'll get to
I
that.
say you sound cute to someone making monster noises, right? Because what the hell else are you gonna get me for exactly? But did you guys actually go and look at the fucking server? That would be really fascinating. Because if you go and you look at the fucking server when it was still up, if you do that and you try to use things against me that have been shown to be wrong, to be a joke, and all this, that, and the other goddamn thing, when I have a history of making purely jokes most of the goddamn time, I'm sorry, but like this is like an early Christmas present for me, and it's only fucking February.
Bro needs coal.
I cannot wait, because they have no clue what I'm even gonna do with my videos.
Oh.
They have no idea the angle I'm going for. They have no clue about language. They have no clue how detached from reality
Oh, but Nick, I do. I do. And you'll find out later.
they are, and they have no fucking idea just how much they're gonna fuck themselves over. This is the thing I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for this video so I can work on my trilogy, my trinity of videos. They are so goddamn fucked, mentally and logically, and I cannot wait. I need to see this fucking video. So goddamn bad, I cannot fucking wait. Yeah, this is, for me, this is perfect. Again, like, I've been waiting on this. I really have been, and I've been waiting for Lio to release his fucking nonsense because
Still waiting.
I needed to see how he was gonna approach things after he, just was on the live stream with me, and after all these other streams came out, everything he was shown. Yeah, he retains the idea that I'm a creep. He even said this during the stream he had with me. And I knew just from how he was approaching everything, how he was talking, that he would, if he followed up by making a video or anything about us, that he was going to involve a mountain of delusion. He has no fucking clue how out of touch he is with the reality of things here. He has no
I'm out of touch. I'm out of time.
idea nor comprehension of what exactly is going on. He says that, my explaining things at length, things that don't have a simple yes or no answer, but an answer that comes with a lot of detail. He says it's filibustering. I'm just talking. No, not the
To be clear, these are voice messages sent to Sonny. So I want to be clear about that.
case. Yeah, when you take it upon yourself to dismiss so much and downplay everything that people are saying to you, what ends up happening is you miss everything and you lose the plot. It's so good. Do yourself a favor, right? Because if you look at the document that I sent you, it shows a good amount of the angle I'm going for. Now, when you read through that, don't humor me, right? Don't humor me at all with your answer. Like to say, oh yeah, I get you. No, like honestly, ask yourself when you read through the document, how bad is it going to look for them? How bad is it going to be for them, their camp? Because keep in mind, I'm not just talking about Lio with the script that I've written and everything else, the cross-examination I did between
Cross-examination is a legal term. You didn't do a cross-examination.
Router's video and the stream they did, right? And then if you think back to any of the things I've said about my stream with those guys as well, I'm involving their entire camp.
We have a camp set up? Why didn't anybody tell me?
Now ask yourself, really, how bad is it going to look for them? Especially when this is how they're framing things and how Gilded framed things.
No slurs in my chat, please. We've been through this.
To his stream that he also clipped up for a video as well. How bad, and the thing also about Router's video too. Router released that video, his response video. How bad is this going to be for them?
I don't know. I think Router's video is literally the second worst video on me I've ever seen in my life.
And answer that for yourself honestly. Again, you answering in a positive way for me doesn't matter. Ask yourself that honestly. I'm so excited. Just do me a favor. When the fireworks settle, bask in the smell of expenditure, ash, and spectacle. when you see what happens next, just know that whatever happens afterwards was required. They have become a herald of their own destruction.
We are heralds of Galactus. I present to you Vlad, the Silver Surfer.
They do not understand
Or the Silver Slurper.
anything about this because they have a narrative. They don't understand exactly what they are, or they would have surrendered their insanity long ago. They have no idea just the kind of people they're speaking on. And if they had an idea about the kind of people they were speaking on, they would apologize and disappear. And
Oh no! He's gonna destroy me, guys. He's gonna do what everybody else has failed to. This dude, with barely anybody watching his channel, and everybody knowing he's, like, not all there, apparently, he's gonna take me out, guys. He's gonna be the one to finally do it.
now it's time to make them all suffer under the weight of their own shame, their own guilt, their own anxiety, and their own ignorance.
Brother, what anxiety I have is certainly not gonna be towards you. You're an absolute joke.
Their own blithering, mindless stupidity.
Next time somebody says I go on anime speeches, listen to this guy instead. Trust me, it ain't anywhere near the same.
They will go down, if I can manage it, as the kind of people everyone should have a problem with.
Everyone should have a problem with me. No, I have a problem with everybody else. Why? Because they don't buy Transformers.
Because they all operate channels where they don't take time to measure the results of a mishandling of reality,
Citation needed. Evidence required.
a misreporting on those involved.
When have I done that? Oh, yes. Never that I haven't owned up to or admitted I was wrong about. Whereas a guy who sits there and says he knows my history, he knows literally nothing.
In their conversations. They are no better than people who will make things up for money.
Yes, that's exactly what I do. I totally make things up for money. I mean, I guess I do when I draw. That is making something up.
And for them to argue that I am a creep
I mean, you are.
or that I am a pedophile, they
Gallagher's
equate
argument.
themselves. They equate their own kind of people, themselves particularly, as people who would file false rape allegations
What a take.
to try to get someone in trouble because one of us just happened to say that their fucking hat looks stupid.
How out of it do you have to be to make that comparison?
That's what this is. When you decide, and they don't understand this because they're out of touch with reality,
Out of touch, out of time.
when they decide to desecrate
Desecrate. You have desecrated this land.
the soil of good faith,
Brother, you don't even know what good faith is.
when they decide to do that by making people out as though they are rapists when they are not,
Never compared you to a rapist, but that's interesting. That's a comparison you make.
they pin themselves to the wall when I respond, and I will respond,
And we're gonna point and laugh at you.
and you will enjoy what happens next because they brought this on themselves. They insisted for now 2 months. No, a month. Sorry. They have insisted for a month that they have to make sure that they tell the world that they are the kinds of people that would issue false rape allegations against innocent people. And I will be there to drink their fucking blood when I get done with them. And during the time I spend, and upon getting started, I will drink of them. I will make sure they understand if they even can pay attention, that they do not know what they have done. And I will make sure that I savor the flavor of every fucking drop of
Savor the flavor. Kool-Aid Man.
crimson. Count on it.
This guy, this dude, he's gonna drink my blood, guys. He's Vlad Dracul, Dracula in flesh. I'll tell you what. If you guys want to hear an actual villain monologue, hit 1 in the chat. And I'll see if I can do it. Okay, let's see if I can do this right. And props to anybody who is able to recognize this one. No! Stop! Cease! Desist! Do not continue with your ramblings, for my ramblings are the ramblings to be obeyed, for I am the king, supreme leader, and all-around dictator, for I am the mastermind, the genius, and all-around visionary. It was I who laid the original plan and set it into motion. Don't you see? All you monkeys are my plan, so your plans are my plans, because you made plans and my plan was to make you! I never planned for my plans to stop... I never planned for my plans to make plans to stop my plan. I plan to rule the planet, not to have my plans plan to stop me, the planner of you. So stop, cease, desist. I am your creator. I am your king. I am Mojo Jojo. Obey me. That's a villain monologue. That's a villain speech. Unfortunately, that's not all we have from this dulcet-toned, brilliant mind. All right. We're going to now look at his almost 2-hour call with Sunny, and he says some fascinating things. Let me go ahead and put this on 2x speed so none of us die. Alright, let's get into it.
I haven't really heard much anymore about Kiddo hearing voices in my head anymore. I think what I've done, welcome back by the way, I think what I've done may have been successful for the kid. I'm sure you heard about Teddy Bear and everything else. I gave the kiddo a big old hug too, because it's like, you shouldn't have to go through this. Kids shouldn't have to suffer from any mental turmoil, physical, emotional. They shouldn't have to put up with that. And I actually, on the CD, the card stock that I used to make sure that you carry the CD around and everything, I actually wrote a bit of poetry for the kid, because I'm a writer, and my manager tells me, and my manager told me that the kid actually cried over the poetry. So I feel like I achieved something of a goal there. But I gave him the big old teddy bear. I'm like, the big old teddy bear I gave him. I said, even though this is really for you because you're going through a hard time, this is for your brothers and sisters too, because I feel like you guys should have something to help with comfort, because you shouldn't be going through half the shit you're dealing with right now.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, go. Let me say what you're gonna say.
No, I was just gonna say it's just so horrible that like all this stuff is happening to someone who's like truly nice to children. And that's just really sad. I'm sorry. I'm not very good at words, obviously. That's just so sad.
When Sunny plays the Uwu girl, they play the Uwu girl.
But, people are saying all this stuff about you.
Yeah, and like it's hard for me to really communicate a lot of stuff. But, like, here's the thing too that's gonna hurt them in the long run. I could keep going. Like this isn't just a few cases. I could keep going about this stuff. So there's that stuff with the manager.
I thought you meant like you could keep going with them, because I know you said about nuke. I thought, sorry, I misunderstood. I was like, wait, do you have more nukes?
Well, no, like I keep going
Sorry,
about them. No, it's okay. It's totally fine. Don't you worry. We're having a conversation, but this is gonna happen. We're gonna bump heads, not meaning to. We're both gonna stand at the same time and walk forward and go, we bumped into each other's heads. It's
just like obviously, I don't know. I guess I just didn't know much about. I didn't know anything about the situation. So I think it was nice hearing it from someone who's actually been a part of it, because I got recommended that Gilded Poser. He put a video up. I didn't watch it because I didn't want to I guess I'm really scared about if you watch a video, does it mean that people will think you want to take their side? You know what I mean? We should do a watch party of it, because then we can all watch it together.
Yeah. I mean, like that could be a thing. But I don't know. Just doing a watch party with that, when I'd rather do a watch party of Phone Jacker. I'm sorry. I think we have cooler things we can watch. Let's be honest. Like as much as it's like, look at this thing, this is fucked up, blah blah blah. The thing is though, like in truth, Router and I, we're gonna release our videos and then we're gonna move on collectively from these people, because so here's the thing. Us doing a watch party, we want to do like as minimal shit as we need to with everything that they get up to, because you have to keep in mind, I'm sure you know people like this. I'm sure you're familiar with these types, but people like this, they need attention to feel like they're doing anything right. And people who need attention, they're often doing negative things for the attention. Like good people who are genuinely good, they don't do things for attention because they know that what they've done is good, and they aren't concerning themselves with the moral points. People who they're
moral points. Also, what you think you're doing is good. Why are you bragging about it to Sunny? Very strange behavior.
There's this criticism that had been coming up more and more here and there, and where it's like that thing that people do where you'll give a homeless person a bunch of money, but what you'll do is you'll record it and say, look at what a good person I am. So yeah, it's kind of like that. But we don't want to give over more attention than we should to people that are doing things for attention off the back of drama and negativity, especially when the drama and negativity is fabricated. And like when you fabricate so much and that becomes like, you know, that's your export, you know, that's the thing you sell to the world. Like it's people shouldn't be rewarded for trying to run others through the mud, all in the name of a narrative that you want to pursue. Because like
But yet you're fine with Router doing it, and you want that to be rewarded.
Yeah, and like I even told these guys, like, you know, thank you for treating me the way you do in some capacity, because we should treat people that are suspect with a line of questions that are very intense.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. Like, because you said before about like people only do like big things for attention if they're like not good people. So I noticed that you were like, you know, you really tried to be more subdued about it. Like, obviously you had to, you know, there was sometimes you had to do something more public, like, you know, changing the names of the people from what's the Lio server? Lio server? Like you changed
Lio, Gallagher, Ace, Gildiku. They have so many different servers. They're all connected. Yeah, but I renamed one of them to it was Gallagher. I renamed Gallagher to Disney on Ice because he's goofy to me. Yeah.
He's the one that called you a pedo, but he's not the one you're going at. That's funny stuff.
Just as an example, and there was one person who this was my favorite one. She's called Yen, and so I took heavy issue with
Yen mention
Yen because throughout the entirety, Yen was in our server, but throughout the entirety of the stream with Ace, you know, Router's stream with Ace, throughout the entirety, Yen was sending constant, ceaseless messages to Ace. And if you go and you watch the stream that Ace had right now, you'll see that Yen is just sending messages over and over again.
Cope.
While there's a conversation going on. Yeah, and she enters the server after all that shit happens, and she acts like stupid as fuck 24/7 because she knows that kind of shit pisses people off, and she
actually, I'm sure she does that because that's just who she is.
She overacts about the idea of looking like an innocent good person by acting like a dumb little girl by saying, "What? I don't get." Huh?
Sorry, that's just ridiculous to me. Like, can you make it obvious?
Sonny, you scamp.
Yeah, exactly right. It's like, huh? What did I do?
Yeah, I think I know who you mean now.
Yeah. She kept saying shit.
Sonny's like, who would do something like that? Sitting there sweating bullets.
Like she was like a stupid 14-year-old girl or something. And I know she's not. I know she's a fully grown adult, but she acted dumb as fuck the entire time she was in the server. Like she didn't know what was going on. Everything else. Like I kept changing her name. I kept doing it. And the last time I changed her name to Oblivious Spy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I even changed her name. Yeah, I did.
There was an incident during the Cold War where the FBI put a certain person on task to find the Soviet spy in their ranks. It was the Soviet spy they put in charge of that. This is a small encapsulation of that type of stuff.
Changed her name at one point from yen to rupee because those are two different currencies.
Oh, I get it. I should have changed it to pound.
Well, pound would be funny, except I think she weighs more than 1 pound. I think she weighs 300 pounds, and it's all retardation.
Actually, yen's pretty fit. They're in the military.
No, like still, like not pounded in weight.
No, I know. Because if we're talking about weight, in the case of your country, I probably would change her name to Stone because she's dumb as one. So, she and like we had a number of people just enter the server from all that, and I was aware that Lio Convoy, he moved from being a predator hunter guy because he was never successful at this shit. He was only ever decent at guilt tripping people, including.
What do you mean by successful? Because like we caught them, we put them to an open shame after we filed reports. What do you consider, success on that one? Because I can't prosecute anybody.
Including the verbal abuse with the help of like 60 other people, including the verbal abuse of a mentally retarded gay woman. They actually, these people, they have a history, and like, even Lio will say, I'll own up to that whenever it's brought up and everything else.
Yeah, I'll own up to that call. It was awful and it shouldn't have happened.
The fact of the matter is, you had it in you to do that, like, and that wasn't that.
Yeah, and you have it in you apparently to at some point be accused by other channels of being a child predator, also lying behind the scenes, also being creepy in general. Like, there's a lot you have in you, Nick. Maybe you ought to address that.
That long ago that this happened. It wasn't long ago you did that.
It was 2 years ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago either that he targeted a 15-year-old.
3 years ago for that one.
Yeah, he targeted because the 15-year-old was having a conversation argument thing with someone over voice chat, and Lio comes in and he says, tries to greet people, and the 15-year-old and everyone else ignored Lio, and he got really irritated very quickly. He asked the kid his age and everything else, and so Lio knew the kid's age for sure. The kid was 15, and so
you knew there was a child predator in the server that was a mod with you, and you said nothing.
Lio had a problem with the 15-year-old kid. He said this, that, and the other thing, saying, "Oh, I'll call your parents on you," blah, 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 and a bunch of other fucking retard shit. But the kid said, "I'm not afraid of you, and if you come to my house, I'll shoot you in the face."
Imagine complaining about somebody's ableism while you're being an ableist yourself. That's an amazing lack of self-awareness.
And that's fine. That's fine that he said that because we have laws in America here where if you enter someone's property without their consent and you've been warned in advance, it would constitute self-defense. And this is you, Lio. You're almost 40 and you're trying to go to a child's house, you think, or whatever, right? Well, you've been warned in
This man pantomimes arguments with other people when they're not around constantly.
Advance. And so you want to advance upon a minor's property or whatever, and you think it's a threat to be told that the minor would respond with self-defense if you try to show up, try to hurt him, whatever else. And like, Lio lives in Texas. Lio should understand this is how things work because in Texas, people are rooting, happy hollering, shooting guns off, yada yada.
They do? Man, that's weird. I've never seen that around here, and I live in Houston.
He should understand how gun things work because he lives in Texas, but he's a leftist. Whatever, doesn't matter, right?
I'm a leftist? When did that happen? When did I ever identify as any political value? I politically identify as angry, if anything.
I think the issue with a lot of these guys is their politics are really skewing their perception, their judgment, and everything else. They're not being one to one eye to eye with reality about things because of their politics, which is really unfortunate. And I'm not
Brother, you of all people can't say that.
saying that for, again, I don't want to lie about anyone. I'm not saying that for any reason because it's cute or funny or I have a problem with people that vote for left-leaning politicians. It's nothing like that. Okay, because I may be center-right, but I used to be one of these guys. Okay, so like I totally get it. And I don't want to make excuses for anyone that it's their politics when it could just be that they're fucking retarded, but it's their politics. They've done all manner of things that could only suggest such. If you just even listen to all their conversations and see the things that they write, you'll see this is the case.
This guy's really mad I have the
shit,
trans
and
gun.
these are things that people on the left only would argue. And I don't want to get political too much, but like that's just a factor here. I hate talking about politics, but it's just a factor.
I'm sorry, I don't really know a lot about politics, so I can't really weigh in. It's not really my thing.
No, it's okay. Just as a matter of speaking, what's observable is people who are on the left, people who are leftists and stuff, they value the idea of emotions and they value the idea of looking good. But that's it.
Brother, if you don't think the right does that, you're completely out of base. Like, all politics in one way or another boil down to feelings. You're dumb.
That's all they value. That's it. They value appearances. They value images, right? And as an example, I'll give you one of the strongest examples that I can think of right now. So transgenderism here in America, that was on the list of mental illnesses. Now, they took it off the list of mental illnesses because they don't believe it's mental illness, even though the thing about transgenderism is you hear the voices in your head. You're going to have, if it weren't a mental illness, there wouldn't be...
Trans people hear voices in their head? When did that start happening? That's not a setting on my trans gun.
Such a high suicide rate among people identified with the mental illness of transgenderism. Now, here's the thing.
That has nothing to do with voices in their head so much as it is people giving them grief. What is wrong with this guy?
If they were really trying to help people, because it shouldn't be glamorized and glorified like they've been doing, but what ended up happening was when they were successful in taking transgenderism off the mental illness list, the people who actually suffer from that lost access to, like, these medical services are still available to them, but because these services were being given to them for free on the basis that it was mental illness.
Citation needed, evidence required, because that has never happened to my knowledge.
Now all those health services cost money instead now. So because now it's no longer a mental illness considered by some fucking list somewhere, okay? You don't have access to...
Brother, the mental health crisis, it's called a crisis for a reason.
What's considered to be life-saving services. So in the process...
I'll tell you what, chat, I know that my community, because everybody's has like a bunch of people with mental health issues, tell me in the chat, have you ever gotten it for free? Help with your mental issues for free? Tell me, I'm curious.
In the process of trying to look good, and not being considered mentally ill, they lost access to free medical services. It's all vanity, all of it, every single last bit of it. And I get that, like, you feel for people, right? If you hear some nice music, you're gonna feel for the universe. You know, if you hear some nice music. But what isn't excusable is blatant ignorance that affects society and its people at large in a sweeping manner. And this all it's gross, it's disgusting because it affects more than they understand. But again, I like to get political. Just wanted to sort of throw it out there as just like a mention that they romanticize. Yeah, they romanticize the idea of looking good. I can't blame them. Again, I used to be one of these fucking guys, and then I realized I was being used.
Because I'm sorry, I'm nosy, like I said, but I was trying to look into, like, the Lio guy, because I obviously you guys been saying his name a lot and stuff.
The Lio guy.
I was like, I don't know if it's true or not, but there are people saying that his server is, like, a grooming place for trans people. Like, he grooms people to, like, into the, I honestly think it's ridiculous. Like, they're saying he's, like, grooming people into being trans. Which is, I don't know, but, like, is the server not safe?
So the issue is, I haven't found this to be definitely the case, but there are a lot of things that absolutely suggest this, strongly suggest this. I mean, you could look at some of the stuff in the past. The problem is because Lio is someone that practices in intimidation, and I've even heard straight up from people that because Lio resents authority, the police and other things like that, that he has in the past, I guess how to put this, encouraged people to not go to the authorities about some things, because this is, I haven't had this confirmed absolutely. As much as I would like to just say this is the case, I've heard that.
Wait, hold on. Why would you like to say that's the case? Because I'll be honest, I don't resent authority, but I do scrutinize it heavily, which is kind of funny coming from a Bible thumper. But, I don't trust authority inherently because authority tends to be abusive by nature. The only time I have told people to not concern themselves with the police is when it's something they can handle on their own. Like, if they're worried about some dude, like, messing with them, 9 times out of 10, they can get that dude to back off in another way. When it comes to child predation cases, I've had no shortage of people come to me asking me to do an expose video on some random person. I'm like, okay, before we move forward, you need to file a police report. That is step 1. I have unquestionably told people to go to the police multiple times. So whoever's telling this guy this and him for some reason really wanting to believe it, that's really screwed up, by the way. They're wrong and you're dumb for believing them.
Wait, sorry, that's like crazy. Like, wait, so because he doesn't like the police, he tells people not to go to the police about, like, crimes?
yeah, I mean, whatever is true about this, which this is like, again, this is like what I've observed people say. I haven't been able. If I have confirmed it, like if I can, I'd love to say this is the case, just because it at least clears up a number of things. I still have to. I have time still before I have to bother with the video, but like so much of my time is taking up. That's the point. But this is what I've observed people say, and I've tried to reach out to some people to try to like get some sort of lead on this, because there's so much information that has been hidden away because Lio intimidates people. I mean, people who
Only trust your fist. The police will never believe you.
People who were victimized by Lio in the past have changed their tone, and like you had to have been intimidated or gaslit or something, because a lot of people that have
or never help you rather. And no, some of these people changed their tone because they lied, which sucks, but still
said things in the past. These are some of the same people that are so mentally and emotionally vulnerable that it just takes a fucking guy with a problem to change your mind, because all you have to do is cause for you to feel guilt, and then you'll change your mind, because that's just what people tend to do when they are so vulnerable and they are.
Clearly, if somebody says something about me and then retracts it later, it must be because I intimidated them. Also, practicing intimidation, I mean, according to people like you, I don't practice it, I perfected it. Because you're scared of me.
So susceptible, so it's hard for me to say a whole lot. But I mean, there's a conversation about a young person by the name of Jordan, that Jordan has a video out where they talk about what it was like to live at Lio Convoy's place.
Where they lie through their teeth and bring literally no evidence. Because they were lying.
And Lio Convoy is a fucking dickhead. Jordan, the young person, they had left their parents' place. They moved away because of what's told in stories about this is that Jordan was sexually assaulted numerous times in their own house, and then when they moved out, and they ended up moving with Lio Convoy after a little while. So Lio Convoy knows that this Jordan person identifies transgender thing, okay, and knows that Jordan has trauma. But what Lio Convoy will decide to do, even though he knows this person has in the past or would have in the future attempted to commit suicide numerous times, Lio Convoy finds it novel, cute to verbally abuse them and make them feel so distraught that they don't want to be there anymore. I mean, this fucking...
Actually, no, Jordan left because I told them they had to start paying rent. In fact, I proved that in my video. That Jordan's entire tale of me being verbally abusive is a flat-out lie. In fact, Monstrous has had, apparently, something to say about some of that, so I'm not going to out that if she doesn't want to, but, no, Jordan lied. That's why Jordan clammed up. Because when Jordan does something based on emotion, Jordan doesn't think of the ramifications. So Jordan got stupid because they were mad they had to pay rent, and when the blowback finally came, they panicked and ran.
Guy, according to Jordan, was also like when people try to console others, they'll put like their hands on the person's arm or whatever. So Jordan didn't like that whoever it was trying to physically console Jordan by putting their hands on Jordan for whatever reason. And Jordan, I guess, was backed away from that or flinched from it, had an issue with being touched. And according to Jordan, Lio Convoy further yelled at them over not accepting the physical console.
Also didn't happen, but okay, buddy.
Consolement. So Lio Convoy is confirmed by someone who lived with Lio Convoy to be verbally abusive of people who are vulnerable, and like that's not okay. And the amount of things I've witnessed through testimony, video things, whatever, even just like actual stream calls. Lio Convoy. So this is the picture in my head of Lio Convoy in this little group. You're probably aware of like the Manson cult. You know Manson?
I'm apparently Charles Manson. If I was Charles Manson, I'd probably have a bigger Patreon, and I'd have a lot more Transformers from other people. I'm not making enough money to be a cult leader.
Are you familiar with Charles Manson? That name?
I think I recognize the name, but I'm not quite sure. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so
No,
I'm so pop culture. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Don't you worry. You don't have to really know anything other than how to speak English. It's totally fine.
Yeah, you just gotta explain things to me like I'm 12. I'm sorry.
No, not like you're 12 necessarily. I mean, maybe if you mean like how I mean to detail things, like you're shit. But no.
I've never once talked about Helter Skelter and a race war. What is this guy on about?
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's a conversation. I don't expect you to know. I don't even expect you to know anything. But I try to keep it honest, because if I don't know anything, I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you.
I'll keep it honest, even though I'll talk incessantly about things I have no evidence for.
It's trick.
Yeah.
But it is a conversation. So but Lio Convoy reminds me. He and his people remind me of the Charles Manson cult. And so Charles Manson, he obviously a cult leader. He didn't actually kill anyone, so he says, but he did influence a lot of women. And even some men, I'm sure, he influenced them to act in his name for whatever reason. And outside of just like the reference to Manson I could bring up, there are cults in America.
I would never be like Jim Jones. How dare?
Where what you do is you build a compound, right? Like a bunch of building structures that are meant for like a purpose on farmland. And then everyone that's in the cult that lives on the compound, on the farmland, they're all meant to answer to a delusional hierarchy. And it's like you're going to recognize the leader as the leader, and you will subject yourself to the
If this guy actually thinks this about me, it's very obvious he's jealous.
idea of being lowly enough that if the leader wishes to have you dispatched, so be it. And that's what these
Off with their heads!
That's what these guys make me
That's
think.
scary. That's scary.
Yeah,
So servers like I don't know. You said he's a server. Yeah, because you said people from server. It's like a cult. It's creepy. That's so scary.
That's my most extreme interpretation of things, but just like that's what makes me think of. And I mean, even Router with his Lio video, even he feels like there's some accuracy to those ideas about Lio. The contrast, it's not that inaccurate to have this interpretation of things that Lio comes across as a cult leader. Now, it's not to say he is. Not to say he is in a cult. It's just that stupid people are easy to influence, which is why we've had so many stupid people to deal with here.
Yeah, that's why you're in Router server.
Yeah, it must be serious if Router agrees that it's like cult-like.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I had no knowledge of Lio, and I never even heard of this guy until Router had his name on the list. And actually, Router was suggested by a lot of people. What's up?
Wait, sorry, I think I missed that part.
Yeah, so Router had compiled a list of names that people had suggested to him for the purpose of talking. And so I went and without Router putting the name in front of me with the list, I would never found out about this guy with my own research of things. But I even told Router, because I took his list of names, I went over each name, and I actually compiled a list called Router's shit list. And in Router's shit list, I expressed like.
But remember, Router had no bias beforehand.
Priority levels, like if this person should be focused on soon, later, this, that, the other thing. I even remarked that Lio is a multi-part topic, because there's so much to this topic that you couldn't really do enough with just one video, because Router has.
Yes, multi-part. Watch my toy reviews.
Done like 2 parts on different people before. I think Smash Bandicoot was one, but I know that I think Low Tier God was another, and then there was Perfection, the Natural something or other. I don't know. Oh god, the more I talk about Router shit, the more I realize I start to sound like Router a little bit. Oh my god. I promise I'm not Router. I'll go on camera whenever. My name is not his name. Okay, I'll just say.
I know you were the doxing that. I was like, whoa.
Sorry. Well, what if I talk like Router the whole time? Anyway, so there's Lio Combo.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, it seems like Ryo's the main guy then, and then there's just like.
For the record, Nick Mullins doesn't hate Router. He loves Router. He'd lay his life on the line to protect Router's credibility.
What, his lackeys, like Gilded, and the 8th person?
Yes,
Ace.
Gilded's my lackey, clearly.
Here's the idea of lackeys. So here's the thing about all this, right? Is they're all just tangentially related, right? Like, I could say, you guys seem to be friends because you guys all focus on the same thing. I'll give you an example too. Ace and I think Gilded and I think also Lio all like on the same day released a video about the same fucking person. I think it was just a robot.
Oh, I know. I know.
Wasn't on the same day, and we released it all successively because Jark did his response video. What type of Owen is that?
I actually met him.
You met him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Was he stiff?
Stiff?
Because he's a robot, right? He's a stiff robot.
He was. Yeah, he was something. I don't want to be mean about people though. I don't. It's just that's why this whole thing makes me so sad, because it's like, yeah, like I'm nosy and I like to know like drama stuff that's going on because it's really interesting to hear about, but it's also like really sad because like I don't like people being mean to each other. You know what I mean? I know that's so sappy. Like that's like the stupidest thing ever, but I don't know. I have a bleeding heart.
No, I mean your name is Untitled Sunny, not Untitled Mooney. Okay, if you were Untitled Mooney, so I would expect you like, yeah, we're gonna fucking we should commit hate crimes. Yeah, if you were Untitled Mooney, right? That's the opposite. You it's not like the Sunny name.
That's the Hyde to my Jekyll. Yes.
Yeah. So you mean to tell me that sometimes you tend to have like a no, okay.
Sorry. We're talking about Gilded or the big lackeys or whatever.
Gilded and Ace and Lio, yeah. So they're all just tangentially related, right? To the degree that yeah, right. That's an easy assumption to make just because of how they tend to act, right? But the reality of things is that they are just in the same space, talking about a lot of the same people, and they can't help themselves. They make themselves seem like friends, but you know what? I'm willing to believe that there's a chance that they are friends in some capacity, right? Not that they are for sure, but that they're definitely more than acquaintances.
We meet up every weekend to go skinny dipping in the local pond. Clearly,
they're definitely peers. I'll go out and limit it. They're definitely peers. I mean, as it is, this is one of the reasons why I am so close to saying that they are friends, is because with this whole shit where they raided our server, they all acted exactly the same. They were in the same camp, and like I have actually, because I was hoping to stream.
Vlad, if you're there, are we friends? Are we friends, Vlad?
With Ace, I was hoping to stream because I actually have 26 questions for him. That's how I get to do. Yeah, 26. Count from 1 to 26. See how long it takes. But yeah, I had.
Yes, 26 questions you ask yourself and hope you can answer for other people.
I had a lot of questions, 26 questions for Ace. And I outlined in the beginning of my document that contains the questions that you guys might not be friends, but because you're all part of the same camp, I'm going to be using the word friends, okay? As clarification, because you got to make sure that you're not being dishonest with intent, but you're just using friends as a blanket term to be referential. Yeah. But they're all part of the same camp. They throw around baseless accusations. They proliferated out of context screenshots without explaining the context or anything. They just say, "Look at this. Isn't this guy a fucking pedophile or what?" So they'll do that. They all have the same targets. Just the list goes on. So it's hard to see them as being anything other than friends. But I don't believe they're friends. But they're definitely peers. They talk to each other on a regular basis. Yeah, they talk to each other on a regular basis. They're in communication with each other because they're also in each other's servers. They have the same friend group. How are they not friends?
Actually, Vlad's not in my server, neither is Gallagher. I think there's like a couple of people from his spaces that are in mine because they know how to behave themselves, but that's about it.
I mean,
you know what I would love? I would love to get this guy, Nick Mullins, in a call with Fox Azure and just see what happens. That would be the funniest thing in the world.
I guess you'd say they aren't friends because they say mean shit about each other, but it's like, okay, whatever, that's it, then whatever. I say friends because you're in the same camp. You're in the same fucking camp. That's what I'm calling you friends. So I wouldn't call them friends, but I can see why a person would. I'll say that. It just, it's not, it doesn't feel inaccurate because I mean I don't know how it could. But yeah, I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs and everything else, and like that's fine. But the fact that they are so connected made the raid confusing. And you know that raid took place. That raid was mostly to Gilded Pooh's credit because Gilded Pooh actually he took
Yes, Monsters, it was your idea, and it's a good idea. So I will source you as the originator of that idea.
Took his server aside. He actually tagged everyone in the server to say that Nick Mullen, me, is a pedophile for sure, and you should consider making his life more inconvenient. And you're tagging everyone to say this. And there's still people just now finding out about this, you know. And so you say, oh, go over there and maybe give this guy a hard time. But then he says, but hey, there are minors over there. Don't post anything that would, you know, like anything sexual. So it's like, okay, so that's the thing, right? But meanwhile, your friends, your guys, still did this during the raid. You guys still did that when you're concerned about a minor in the group. And also,
did what? Made fun of you? Okay.
Like, I don't know if it matters that much when the minors that are in the server could be little black kids, and you're saying nigger abundantly. You're saying a lot too.
This guy has no problem saying it. I do apologize for those of you who just heard that and are kind of shocked. This dude has no problem saying that word. And he doesn't just say it as an example. And at the end of another call we're going to look at, he just flat out calls somebody that.
I mean, fuck, like, when, Leo...
Now, keep in mind, I can't control what Vlad's people do. I disagree with it, obviously. I wouldn't use those words. However, this guy is crying about other people using that term when he turns around using it himself.
Convoy tagged me in Ace's server. Because he was really annoyed with me. But what he doesn't know is I'm constantly experimenting on people in a way that doesn't like physically hurt them. And what I mean is, because I've been studying people for over 20 years, psychology and sociology are my thing. So I often administer tests because I want answers to questions that I'm not going to ask people directly, because the questions I would ask them directly, they would not give me a straight answer to. So whenever I do administer a test, I am.
So it's a guy who never gives a straight answer to anybody.
I'm trying to get an answer, and it's very important to me because I've been at this for 20 years. So if I'm aware that you're not going to give me a straight answer to a difficult question, I'm just going to administer a test. Now, when Lio brought me over by tagging me, right, because I was an Aces server, but he tagged me in Aces server, and I was like, all right, I expected this. All right, what the hell does he want? He was real bad.
Yeah, he tried his best to recontextualize that as him just playing me. He knew I would be riled up and tag him if he said what he did in Router's server. I wonder how he's going to try to cope with all this happening to him.
The shape, I can't remember what he said, but he was real bad at shape about the shit. And he always seems to act like a huffy little princess bitch, which is the thing that annoys me is I hate even reading.
I am the prettiest, daintiest princess. There's no princess daintier than me. How dare you?
Anything that he writes, because I can hear his voice crystal clear in my head, whether I'm listening to him talk or reading anything that he's written. I can hear his voice, and I hate hearing his voice because I can hear all the fat in his throat jiggle and vibrate as he talks. And I don't like.
I don't know, my throat's pretty normal, buddy. I'm sorry that you think I'm a gizzard, or I have a gizzard. You're very strange, aren't you?
It's disgusting, right?
Okay, you're right. Ellie is certainly above me in terms of pretty princesses. I will give you that.
Gross. Because have you ever heard his voice?
Lio's voice? I think I
yeah.
I saw a video of his once before, so I was trying to see. At the time, I was looking at a lot of Smash. That's how I found Rado. I was looking at a lot of Smash Band.
I'm not a Texan, I just live here.
I think I actually heard his voice because I watched some of his videos.
Yeah, so Router, Lio sounds like a stuffy fat kid with diabetes and what's the other where you need an inhaler.
And you sound like a crack addict or a meth head, because I've seen you dance around a weight, buddy. Come on, you really shouldn't take shots at somebody's appearance when you're not aware of your own. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't.
Asthma. Yeah, Lio Convoy literally sounds like an obese guy with a stuffy nose and asthma and like he has I just had diabetes. But he just.
Yes, let me get my inhaler that I've very clearly talked about several times, and everybody's heard on stream. Like, this dude is on severe high cope mode.
He sounds like a bunch of like really fucked up things all wrapped up and rolled into one. And I hate hearing his voice because it makes me think of like weight loss programs.
Which is why you rushed over to see this, right? I hate to tell you this, but this is how I'd sound even if I was like 100% in top shape, because this is just how I sound. I think the real reason why you don't like me, Nick, because I sound like I speak with authority, and you really can't handle that. You melt down whenever it happens.
Like, that's because of how gross he sounds. He sounds disgusting. I hate his voice.
I would. I'd argue I'm better groomed than you, buddy.
It's gross, and like it's whatever. I hate harping on. I don't like being mean about stuff, but like.
I don't like doing it, but I've done it for the past 10 minutes.
Why'd you do that video? It'd be so funny.
Yeah, and Router's video looks like it's going to be pretty good because I can tell this is going to come from a place of passion for Router to release a response, because he was just going to ignore them. But then the tipping point, the breaking point, the straw that broke the camel's back was when Gilded Pooh streamed. The stream title was 90s Routers Servers Den of Pedos. So yeah, Gilded Pooh called the server a Den of Pedos. Yeah, and I can send you this clip a little bit later. But I have this incredible fucking clip where Gilded Pooh he was remarking on how Router had actually stepped down as the server owner, and he gave ownership over to someone. Now, Router gave ownership of the server over to someone.
Oh, you cut it for me. Who did you give server ownership to?
I'm not actually clear on that. I'm not actually clear on who was given ownership of it.
I thought it was you. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I can understand what, because I'm pronounced, right? It makes sense to me to give the server over.
Yeah, I thought like if it was going to be anyone, it'd be like you or like I don't know his name. I just call him V because VX.
Yeah, gave it to the pedophile after got evidence that he was a pedophile.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Like the ones you told the most, so I thought you would have. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and actually, my suggestion was that we start a new account and add that account to the server and make that new. We were gonna make that new. My suggestion was we make a new account and add it to the server and make the new account the server owner, but that we just never use the account. It's just there's a headless server owner that doesn't talk.
That's actually something Vlad does. It's genuinely pretty smart, but you know, it is what it is.
That's just here, so the server is somewhat decentralized, right? Because then no one can really remark on this, that, and the other thing. They would try to say something, but whatever. Someone had told Gilded Poo for sure that I was given control, and so
yes, and you confirmed it. That's why he thought it was you, but it was actually given to the pedophile.
Towards the beginning of Gilded Poo's stream, he said that I was given control of the server, and before I knew that he was tipped off inaccurately.
The call goes on for another hour, but I think I have it at 2x speed. Let me see here. Yeah, I have it at 2. Wait, no, hold on. Let's try this again.
Before I even knew that, my theory was that, and maybe this was the person's theory that told Gilded Poo this, but my theory was that because I was just a topic of a stream where I was trying to clear my name of pedophile accusations, that if you wanted to continue to pursue a narrative about pedophiles being in the server, that you would say that the guy who has been accused the harshest would be given the reins, the ownership of the server. That would be the case, because then that would be so fitting with our narrative. We think this guy's a pedophile, and we think that weird things are going on in the server, and so it would only make sense that the pedophile would be.
And yet he gave it to the actual pedophile. Love it.
Given access to server ownership. It just makes sense to us that that's the case. And that's none of that is true by any metric or measure. None of that is true. So the dude, Gilded Poo, said for sure, yeah, Router gave the server to Nick. And then so I'm like, okay, bitch, all right. And I have the whole thing recorded as evidence. The whole stream is recorded. I have it secretly. Same with a bunch of these other streams and videos. Now, I decided if I felt that it made sense to do anything with what's going on at the time, that I would. And sure enough, Gilded Poo tried to add me on Discord while he was streaming. And I'm like, oh, okay, now's the time to embarrass you, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, you embarrassed him so badly, you hopped in his server and then immediately ran away. Very brave of you, bravely brave, Sir Robin.
So he adds me, and I'm like looking over at his stream, and I'm like, oh yeah, all right, so he's still going. So I said, nice stream, dumbass. Apologize to your audience for telling them that I was given ownership of the server. You're a fucking dipshit. And I told him, like, I don't own the server, dude. But
you're dumb for believing what we put out publicly that was then verified by the pedophile we actually gave the server to.
In front of his entire audience, I just simply go, you are fucking stupid, you fucking dumb fuck. That someone said that you told.
I saw a little, like the first bit of his. I got like a minute and like clicked off of it, so it's so annoying. He just looked dumb as well.
Yeah.
He just looks like. I'm sorry, that's really weird to say, but like he looks like a lumberjack.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like trim your beard.
Yeah, well, if you ask me, I think I don't know if idolizing is the word, but I think he takes after Mudahar. I don't know if you know who Mudahar is.
I think so.
Vlad's gonna lose his mind when he finally hears that, because he hates Mudahar. Like, he really hates Mudahar.
I definitely heard the name. I know, yeah, I think I know who Mudahar is. That's a drama topic I need to get into. I just like having long-form content to listen to while I draw.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, Mudahar, he's one of these guys that comment on.
Also, for those of you who are artists and are listening to this, back check, make sure you're not shrimping.
Shit. The thing that.
Stop hunching over your tablets.
Mudahar impressed upon a lot of young people is to use the word wild. This is wild. He impressed upon society. Same with Moist Critical. They impressed upon society the overuse of the word wild.
Actually, it's just a culturally used word. I'm sorry you're triggered by it.
And like that's a word that people use. Like, it's not unfitting, right? The word wild with a lot of shit, but I tell you, it tells me what generation we're speaking on when the speaker says wild. This is wild. So yeah, that's just a. But anyway, yeah, Gilded Poo has shown me and others that he's willing to act on whatever he's told if it makes sense to him based on what he's already up to, or even worse. Yeah, or even worse, if he's not up to anything and he's told something, he may just believe it just because. And he thinks he should be operating a platform. He thinks he should be operating a platform telling others about others. And I don't think you should be telling people about other people if you're so easily able to get such a fucking detail so wrong.
You mean like you do for everything you talk about, and like Router did for what he talked about? So by your value, Router shouldn't be talking. But you will sit there and you will pat his back at every possible turn.
One that makes everything worse. Because if your narrative is for a fact, let me try to hurt people more, and you use a very flimsy suggestion to empower your narrative, then that means that you're not trustworthy. That means you're not trustworthy. And
Ha! Caught you in lifetime, Heaton.
Yeah, and Ace, the one thing that bothered me, and this was eye-opening. For me, this was eye-opening. Ace, it may have actually just been Gallagher, but Gallagher and whoever else. Yeah, right, it was Gallagher. At least he was the first person to say this to me. That all this shit being called pedophile, yada yada, that it's not serious, it's not important, and it's like, well, actually, it is. He tried to use that shit on me to, you take the internet seriously. It's like, yes, I do actually, because I want to start a business online. And if you guys are so fine with throwing around shit that destroys the reputation of people that you've targeted over dumb fucking reasons, because you guys are so stupid that you would, when other people are trying to do things online with their name, you should not be online then, because you're going out of your way to woefully endanger people.
Like you have, and your server's done.
And that's nothing about that's okay. And the fact that this conversation we're having, I could literally carry on about all of this for another 20 fucking hours without stopping. Yeah, and I'll put it to you like this. Not only are there 3 videos coming out, and I told these guys, and Ace and his friends laughed about this, but I told them, I'm building a fucking nuke. They don't understand. Yeah, I mean, sure, yeah.
Yeah, like North Korea does. Congratulations, stupid.
You can laugh. The nuke is, so, given that I've been studying people for so long, and I actually am a writer, I understand language, I understand people. I'm going to be putting out a trilogy, as a matter of fact, 3 videos, that go over predator hunting culture, and what it's caused to have happen to people, the language that people use, the decisions people make, and it's going to quite heavily involve Lyo, Gilded, Ace, and everyone else, including people that made baseless accusations, disproving whatever I can. But there's the router video and the router stream. So I spent between 4 days and a week on cross-examination of Router's video and the stream he was on with Ace, so I could understand what's going on. And so that's going to be a great part.
I'll wait until you hear what he talks about, Chris. You're going to be laughing harder and crying and begging for the sweet release of death.
Video 1 of 3. The second video, I'm going to be going over the stream that I had, and the third video, it's going to be basically just wrapping things up, because I'm waiting for Lyo to release his video before I even start compiling these things. So this isn't just me saying this happened in the past. This is me pointing out the problems with these people, mental things, comprehension things, what words mean, pointing out, because
Well, he actually has a job, Monstrous, and I'm fairly certain I know what it is, but I'm not going to talk publicly about it. It's not really relevant to this.
The big thing with these guys is they don't believe they've done anything wrong. And even just from the streams that have been conducted, you can see that they've done a lot of wrong. They've made things out to be different than they are. These guys will say, I didn't say that, or why did you say that? When it's like, hey guys, you've been wrong at basically every point in each of your streams, that someone needs to pull you aside and spank the fuck out of you. So as far as like long videos go, these guys, they may think that I'm just some fucking weirdo, psychopath, whatever, and that no one will watch like a long...
Well, I'm not going to call you that, because like I'm not a medical degree person, but I will call you a weirdo, and I don't think it, I know it.
Video or whatever, and nothing I do would matter. They downplay everything. But here's the thing: I'm the guy for the job. I don't know if you've heard me say anything about this, but I've once produced. It took me 5 months.
He's dug through the ditches and burned through the witches and slammed in the back of his Dracula.
To make this thing over here, but the things I'm going to produce, they're not going to take nearly as long. But it took me 5 months to produce a 10-hour long content top on iDubbbz. The video is 10 hours long. Yes, and because the reason that took as long as it did is because so many people had so much to say, and I wasn't as intimately familiar with the details as I am of this situation. So yeah, I took my sweet fucking time, and I made it actually fairly entertaining. Some people say that the things that I say drag on, but every word that I use just about matters. I'm not trying to waste anyone's time. So there's that. There was, as far as like talking at length about people, there was a situation where some people were...
Look, I don't care if somebody has a video that's 10 hours long. That's not really an own to me, as long as it's not boring. And this will be boring.
Misrepresenting me and taking things out of context. And so their like 2-hour long video, I conducted three streams that totaled around 14 hours runtime. I had fun with them. I got a lot of work to do with this as well, but I can't act anything until Lyo releases his video, and Router's not releasing his video until Lyo releases his. So once Lyo releases his video, yeah.
Womp womp. How'd that work out for you? Not very well, I'd imagine.
Router's video come out because we want to make it so that all your efforts we may remark on them as being wasted. All your efforts, because if you're going to say a bunch of shit about people and then a counter comes out, then maybe you feel like you need to respond. But the thing is, Router and I and others, we're moving on from these guys after we address them.
Yeah, because so you don't want to you don't want to post it then. Because...
No, I'm going to live rent free in your heads for a while, and so will Vlad. We're going to build a pool table.
If you post, then the ball's basically in your court to counter when you just want to move on. That makes sense.
Yeah, and Router and I and others, we've got other things we're trying to do. As it is, I'll give you a bit of a spoiler about a video that a really insane video that we're working on in the background. So Router, I'll give you a bit of history. Router, Router's curious. No, you're fine. I actually grinned at the yay, because it is a yay kind of thing. But Router had it suggested to him that, and I was going to suggest it, so I'm like, he probably already has this in mind, but I believe it was Kudro. Yawning, yeah. So Kudro, I believe it was, she or he, I don't know, had suggested to Router to make videos about events that happened, right? Things that happened in the past, like DashCon as an example. Anyway, so it was suggested to Router by Kudro, I believe, to cover events that happened in the past, and we got to talking about because Router likes the channel Internet Historian. You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Router likes Internet Historian, and the event Rainforest came up. Rainforest is a furry convention that went so horribly wrong that the event Rainforest was completely banned from the entire state by the hotel chains, because the furries did so much damage to the hotel that they were hosting the event at. That hotel got in contact with the other hotels in the area, and they joined together to ban Rainforest from taking place at any other hotels, which basically banned them from the entire state practically. So that's funny. But I point out to Router, I'm like, hey, Internet Historian's video on Rainforest has 19 million views. You can't just rehash old material. You can't tell people things that are already known. So you gotta have to do more than just tell people about the event. And
I mean, you can just present it in a different way, or a more entertaining way, or a more thoughtful way. People talk about the same topic all the time. Look at the content cycle with the comment Perry bros. Like, look how many times they talked about Jar one after another. I mean, is not exactly honest. You can go to Chris's stream and get something different than you go to one of my streams, or Vlad's stream, or Ace's stream. I mean, they're different content creators. They have different perspectives, so that's not inherently true.
So I suggested to Router. I was half serious when I said this, but I said, you know, Router, what if we just make shit up?
Oh, goodness.
So Router got to thinking, and he's like, you know what? Why don't we do that? It's like, yeah, why don't we do that? So now we're making a mockumentary about Rainforest. We're making a mockumentary. Yeah, and the more we talked about it, the more insane the idea became, and obviously in a good way. But I'll give you an example. So we had the idea to put together like false testimony of things because which, you know, it's a mockumentary. We'll make jokes and shit. So I was like, you know, like if I were interviewed, I would make like my story something like in the hotel I saw this thing happen where in the hotel this guy pulled around a trolley of kennels that had cats in them, but they weren't actually cats. They were all midgets in fursuits, and they were all on drugs, and they keep like making like meowing noises and shit. And one of them started to complain about. One of them started to complain about the smell of crotch rot from one of the others, and everyone in the all the midgets in the kennels started like hissing at the one that started complaining. And the guy pulling the trolley around goes, "You signed up for this. It's a contractual obligation. Don't complain now. You signed up for this." So like basically going like so the idea of midgets in fursuits, cat fursuits, meowing, and they're all being kept in kennels that are being pulled around on like a luggage.
I feel bad for Sonny having to listen to this dude's obvious fetish
thing, like a trolley thing or whatever. So there's like shit like so yeah, and we're yeah, and we got these other ideas too. Well, I mean, when you're making a fake video of fake stories about a furry convention, you're gonna write some shit about midgets in cat fursuits. They're all meowing, they're on drugs, and
it's just crazy. It's like we went from talking about freaking like freaking drama to cat midgets or whatever.
Yeah. What? Because I forget. Right. We were talking about how we have other things we're trying to do. We want to move on from the Lionel Convoy shit.
Right, yeah. Oh, because I was asking what the plan was for the video. Sorry, yeah.
No, it's alright.
You my bad.
You're fine. Yeah. Oh boy. Start up the chain. Start up the chain of yawns.
No.
Yeah, I'm trying not to do it myself.
How could you?
But yeah, the all the Lionel Convoy, Gilded Poo, Ace shit. It's just there's still and like even though I told you a lot, there's still a lot to say. And that's just fucked up. Yeah, there's still a lot to say. It's like the things that they try to do during my stream with them, the things that they try to do with Router during his stream with them. I'll give you a really good example. I think I told you about this, but Ace offered Router a one-on-one interview, and it did become an ambush because a one-on-one interview was offered to Router.
An ambush, which is why Router asked if it was okay if he brought me on.
And it eventually became a 1v6 thing. Okay. Yeah, because people just kept coming in, and my stream, my stream with all those guys, Lio brought up the fact that I've been referring to it as an ambush, and he said. You don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't an ambush, blah, 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 yada. And then Glass Raven had the audacity to go, yeah, I don't know how anyone could come to that conclusion. And it's like, well, yeah, you guys are talking while having no information that makes sense of things. Like here's the thing, too, is when the other person is saying something about you, you should try to imagine what's making them say that. Because if you don't, then you're just going to look fucking dumb. And that's what these guys did. They said, yeah, there's no way you come to that conclusion. So I said, well, actually, no, yes, that was an ambush. It's very easy to come to that conclusion because Router was offered a one-on-one interview. Okay? And then Router, I keep doing that. Lio hyped up with it was one-on-one for the majority of the stream, and Glass Raven even tried to say, oh, it was so respectful. Both of those things are untrue. It wasn't so respectful. Router was as respectful of them as he can manage, but there's no way that could be described as a respectful stream, because people were like calling Router all manner of names and everything else. The conduct was ugly, but Lio tried to say that it was one-on-one for most of it, and I said, no, unless you mean there was one person talking to one person, and there was one person talking to one person. And there was one. That's the only way you could say that was mostly one-on-one. It wasn't. And there he goes again. Lio tried to say as an excuse that, oh, I was even invited to the stream. And in my head I'm thinking, yeah, by Ace, right? I'm like, well, by who? And he said by Ace. And in my head, like, yep, there goes the thing. Listen, just because you can say all this shit about, oh, I was invited, therefore it wasn't an ambush because I was invited. Yes, it fucking was. And actually, I believe it was that Lio said that Ace asked Lio to be there. This was not a thing that Router was expecting to have to deal with.
Actually, Ace asked Router if it was okay to bring me on, and he said yes. That's what I was pointing out.
It was supposed to be a one-on-one interview. And instead of a one-on-one interview, it was 6 people pushing around one guy. And, you know, it's dishonest. It's dishonest. And so they tried doing things like that in my stream with them, saying that that's when it's actually a different thing. This is how I say it is, even though what you just said it is just untrue. You know, that's total horseshit. Yeah, and it's just, you know, if you want to have a conversation with people, and you know you have a belief, be willing to understand that everything about conversation is subject to error. You know, and unless you're actively proving things, you shouldn't be willing to hold on to a belief that no one should be holding on to. It doesn't make sense. It's not even fair to you to be that willfully ignorant, because you
talking to the mirror, buddy.
You are cheating yourself out of the truth of the matter, and that's just not fucking okay for you to do, because then you may end up doing that to other people because that's become your personality, your attitude, your behavior.
Yeah,
and
it's all dishonorable, and even like and the stuff with the ex as well is super dishonorable. Like, because he was telling me about it in the general chat, about how like they were coming at him because of his autism, and like calling him like, you know, the P word because you know, stuff that happened before. I'm not fully sure about. He said something about a Blaze person, but I have no idea who it was. So I was like, oh, I'm sorry, although I didn't really know what was going on. I just didn't want to be like, who's Blaze? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
And like
so horrible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the fact that Lio thinks he's a good person, but he would be willing to make fun of someone for their autism. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll fire shots at Greta Thunberg all fucking day, but there's a reason for that. Novak is an individual. Novak is an individual who is been accused of things and has trouble with assessing some things. He's not trying to affect others in a way that changes industries and countries for what is likely the worst. Because, you know, someone who, like Greta Thunberg, someone who is so young, doesn't understand the world, is basically just a mouthpiece for her parents. And her parents, not to get political, but fuck Greta Thunberg's parents because they decided to use their autistic daughter, who was underage at the start of all this, as a weapon to have.
Couple things here. Number one, I don't think I've ever claimed I'm a good person. I try to be. And secondly, I didn't make fun of Novak for being on the spectrum. He tried very hard to get me to do so. I said that he can't pinpoint or he doesn't know how to read social situations. And then he started telling me about how he's on the spectrum. And he's like, are you making fun of me for it? I'm like, no, that's nothing to do with you being on the spectrum. That's not what I'm making fun of you for. He tried his best to be a victim, but he wasn't. And also, if you think Greta Thunberg's parents are garbage, why are you making fun of Greta? Because that's what he said. They don't make fun of Greta. There's something severely wrong with this dude's skull meat.
Have basically a shield to have economies and countries' populations listen to her. Oh, the little autistic girl is trying to tell every single adult in Britain and in the UK and in America how things should be. But yet these cowards won't go to China or India and accuse them of being the biggest contributors to pollution. You go to first world countries, but not the ones where actual evil is taking place. You won't do it. And meanwhile, while you're saying, hey, you should change your carbon footprint, you guys are riding around on boats that contribute to the ozone layer bullshit, and you guys are riding around in planes, which further contributes to the ozone layer bullshit, whatever you want to refer to it. I don't know what to call it myself. It's the most tone-deaf shit, and it's also arguably evil to make your daughters do that. And come to find out, her parents, Greta Thunberg's parents, they are failed celebrities, and they needed a boost in their career as notable people.
No one cares, Nick.
They want wealth, they want stature, but they're going about it all wrong, and they're victimizing their autistic daughter in the process. Fuck off with that. I can understand, like, bringing up someone with autism in an argument, but in most contexts, it's not applicable. It just seems cruel. I only really look at it as applicable as an example when it comes.
We got another 20 minutes with this one, and then we got another one. So
to trying to boss the planet around. Okay, personal issues are personal issues. Okay, but the moment that they are involved in trying to tell everyone how to behave and how to act, when the people that are doing this are so misinformed and naive and underhanded, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go somewhere else with your fucking autistic daughter, guys. No one wants to hear it. That's why people in Great Britain and other places where like they're slapping bumper stickers and writing on the back of their car something like "fuck off, Greta." So, oh, don't mind the little girl. Fuck you, dude. But yeah, they're
yes, F you for calling you out for picking on a literal child.
Picking on Novak's because Lio was or whatever, right? Using his autism against him to make fun of him. Yet when
I didn't make fun of him for his autism, I made fun of her being a joke.
And I am on the stream with them, and I preface things about what Novak's has written about Ace with the announcement saying, "Oh yeah, Ace is responsible for the raid." So I can't say, and for some reason it's not an excuse for me to say that Novak has autism, which is why he may have gotten some things wrong with the situation. I think that was a conversation piece. I can't bring that up as the preface. And that's not an excuse to you guys, but it's excuse enough for Lio to make jokes about Novak's.
Still not what I did.
Sorry, that's such a harsh word. I hate using that word.
I mean, he is one.
Why do they write that word so much? It's like it's not like they have like evidence on it.
Well, I mean, so my thing is, I can't tell. A lot of these things that have been provided as evidence, a lot of these screenshots and other things, the majority of us that are looking at these materials, myself included, don't know how old Novak was at the time, because
actually it's stated in the docs, and he admitted to it. Yeah, you knew it was real.
It's been told to me that through a great amount of that, he was under 18, and so that confuses a lot. But also, like I was saying much earlier, if I wanted to ruin your life, right, and I wanted to do it by you. Hold on. If I wanted to, this is what some people can do, right? This is why trusting screenshots is a problem. If I just take your fucking picture that you use with Discord, and I just take your fucking username, your nickname, whatever, and I go and I start talking to people about assassinating someone and how to make bombs, how to make drugs, and I'm trying to initiate some trafficking shit. And if I were to start talking to people that I've had pose as a 13-year-old while I'm claiming to be 32 or something, if I decide to pass around what appears to be the docs of people, right, fake docs, like you see how easy it is for me to destroy your life? I would do that to you, but you see what I mean? Like all the screenshots. No, I wouldn't dare. You're rather nice.
It's all fake because I like the guy, even though he said that he groomed people.
I like your voice. You seem very comfortable. Yeah, I would never do. Even if I hated you, I would never do that. It's disgusting. It's despicable to the floor. Never in my fucking life would I did something. I refuse. You couldn't make me. You can threaten to shoot me in the fucking head, and I tell you to go fuck yourself and pull the trigger, pussy. Yeah, I don't support that kind of thing at all. Fuck you. Kill me, bitch. But no, that's how easy it is to destroy someone's life. Is just to do that. My life could be over right now because people could do that. And people who want to do this would likely gather themselves allies, friends in the matter, and they would go, listen, this is the plan, And so it's so fucking easy. Just destroy someone with just screenshots. I'll give you some great examples. Yeah, something I told to my people in the moderator only section of the server. I said, what is a screenshot for this? But a snapshot of a digital space. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's literally fucking nothing. If I use your phone to look at your actual messages, that's different, right? If I hold your open phone in front of people and go, look, it's right here, guys. It's right here. It's right here. Okay, that's a little different. But a screenshot, I'm sorry, I'm hard pressed to believe it. But I'll give you an example of, and this is a tragic thing that happened. An example of this, these kinds of things, and ending some people. There was a guy, his name is Ed Piskor. Okay, Ed Piskor, he was a respected comic book artist that saw reverence and respect from the hip hop community because of his work. So people respect.
If that's the same guy I think of, I think he actually did do something a little minor, but I could be mistaken for another one.
Now, there were some women, okay, this is the ugly part.
And no, the man, the human on the thumbnail, is the guy talking now.
There's a woman who gathered together a bunch of stuff to hurt him. But one of the things that was gathered together, there was a conversation that took place between Ed, who was 41, and a 17-year-old, who I can't remember the name of, but the 17-year-old is in great part responsible for what happens next. So she had told to Ed that she had just committed a crime, whatever it is. This is what happens next, and this is what caused for a lot of this to go off the deep end. Ed, unfortunately, responded to her committing a crime with the words, "You're a naughty girl." Oh. And that was taken by the 17-year-old, and she gathered other things of this nature and sent them to whoever, and a smear campaign started. And because we even saw the news channels went out to Ed Piskor's family's home to ask them questions. And mind you, like, if I remember correctly, they didn't even, when they went over there to ask questions, they didn't censor their address. Like, they were just outside their house. Their address is just fucking out there. So this dumb piece of shit, retard cunt woman reporter comes in and tries to badger this old man. Because mind you, Ed Piskor is 41. His father is at least 60, right? So you're badgering a fucking 60-year-old while his address is on the goddamn news. As you with your dumb bitch bullshit, you want to badger him, the 60-year-old, about Ed, and his family knows that he's not that kind of person. But because of all this, Ed Piskor actually took his own life.
Oh my goodness, that's so sad.
Yeah, and if this is why all this shit's a problem, but this is why if Ace wasn't a fucking coward grifter, I would have brought this up with him, because I need to stress the point that false accusations, that causes people to take their life. Okay, I told Router, because before we even started working on the Lio Convoy video, I didn't do much for the video. I just treated a few small things, but I told Router like why we cannot get this wrong. Some guy, I don't remember his name. I have a hard time.
And how'd that work out for you, Sonny? Not the Sonny, but this guy as a Sonny boy.
Finding the story, but some guy he was falsely accused of raping some women, and he was put in prison. And while he was in prison, his mother passed away. And she before she passed away, she came to hear all this. And the most heartbreaking thing about this is, and this guy's not wrong, his mother passed away under the impression that her child is a rapist, and he was cleared of all the charges.
Oh my goodness, it's awful.
Yeah, it is awful. And these are things I wanted to get at with Ace, who was fine with helping proliferate out of context screenshots. Which, by the way, when we cleared up, because one of the out of context screenshots was Noistering, which was the minor, you may have seen them in the server. They were 16, but yeah, Noistering was 16, but no one knew their age until Gallagher asked. Now, before it was established that they were 16, because if I'd known they were a minor, I would have never done this. But before it was established that they were 16, they put a voice recording in general chat, and they're just making monster noises. that was it. They're just making funny, like, rah, rah, that kind of thing. And I said, "You sound cute," and yeah, so they ran with that. And when I streamed with all those guys on Glass Raven stream, we played the audio, and a lot of people felt real fucking dumb after that, because they basically accused me of being a rapist. But if you're going to accuse me of being a child molester, a pedophile, because what's the difference between a fucking pedophile and a child molester, right? What's the difference? You're accusing me of false rape accusations. That's what you're trying to do, and it gets worse, by the way. Okay, I don't know how ready you are for this, but it gets worse. Okay, so before the raid, yeah, you should. Before the raid started, okay, Lio Convoy, we were getting into back and forth tiffs on YouTube. Now, in a comment that he made, he had told to me that my community post where I'm trying to get sympathy from people, blah blah blah, basically making fun of me for that. Now keep in mind that this
didn't make fun of him for it. I said he needs to stop doing that. I said if he's so hung up on that, he needs to focus on that instead of beefing with some rando because he said something mean about somebody he liked.
This took place before the raid. I deleted the community.
For the record, I have our back and forth saved because I know Router hid me on his channel. So sucks to be you.
Because I didn't want anyone to see this, because I didn't want anyone to feel bad. But I had detailed that I have been thinking about killing myself. Okay. Now, Lio has knowledge. I even ended the post by saying time to buy a shotgun. Okay, I didn't buy a shotgun, by the way, but I ended the post saying time to buy a shotgun. I'm trying not to do anything drastic because my situation isn't good, and it has nothing to do with infinite stuff, but like my health and everything else. Yeah. My health is good. And my depression is eating at me again. So Lio, yeah, I appreciate that, but Lio has knowledge of that post, and so with him having knowledge of that, do you think it'd be a good idea for you to pursue a harassment thing, a witch hunt in a server where you were all accusing people of someone of being a pedophile, specifically the guy who detailed that I'm thinking about killing myself?
If you are a child predator, I'm going to be real blunt, because I wasn't pursuing the idea that he's a predator. You're just a creep. But if he was a predator, I wouldn't care. Because child predators aren't people.
Don't you think that might lead to someone taking their life?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, and this is why I wanted to get the point that all you guys doing this, trying to make up shit about people, spreading out of context nonsense to your hundreds.
I keep getting you using the royal few because he's saying you guys. I'm like, me?
No. From anything I'm ever going to say during this conversation, you're completely absent. Don't you worry. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, it was just funny.
You know, like honestly, like your voice makes me think that you're too sweet for cruelty. So
Thank you.
yeah, yeah.
I wonder how he feels about that now.
The name Sunny fits, honestly, but but no.
It's very
What?
sweet. No, I was just saying thank you. That's really sweet.
Yeah, well, my personal philosophy is compliments are given where they're due, and so that means that if I'm saying fucking things about you, trust me, it's earned. Okay, I'm not gonna go off the. I don't support lying. Compliments given where they're due. All this and everything. If I'm saying things about you, they're true. Okay, that's and you know, that's. If I'm saying things about anyone, they're true, and that's a dangerous thing, really, because I don't want anyone under the impression, even if like you do trust and believe me and everything else. If I am saying things about people, it is true, but also I'd like to urge that people think for themselves. Like, even if I say these things, in the back. Yeah, no, absolutely. You have to think for yourself, because I am again, I administer tests. Okay, if you were to completely just take me at my word, I would appreciate that. But
I wonder how he feels about the test he gave Sonny here. That he couldn't suss out Sonny was a spy.
Also, like, just know that even with me, you should do your own, like, you could trust and believe me about things, but you should look into things on your own. Absolutely, it should be something you clarify for yourself, because I to others, I'm anyone. I could be any kind of stripe of person. So, but I mean, even though I'm saying like you can trust me absolutely, definitely do your own research if you can manage it. Yeah. So Lyle Convoy almost had blood on his hands. He almost had blood on his hands because he was willing to pursue a raid with full knowledge of my post, right? A detail that was.
Okay, here's what I have to ask the chat, because we have people in the chat who have had a lot of experience with ideation. I mean, I have too, but at no point has a server raid ever gotten even close to pushing me to that direction. So, has anybody else experienced anything like that? Because that just doesn't even sound viable. Maybe it is. I don't know. You guys let me know.
Just thinking on ending things. He didn't look into anything to do with it. He didn't look up evidence. But yet he has an issue with Router saying that that Lyle may or may not be grooming people. He doesn't care about anyone's evidence of his own, but he doesn't look into evidence about people that he could have gotten killed. So, yeah, these are the people we're dealing with here. Yeah, these are the people we're dealing with here. Objectively evil. Just objectively evil fucking people. So that's a good amount.
Objectively evil. Good and evil is subjective unless you're like a Bible thumper. So I don't know why he's saying this, because he's not one.
Of everything to do with that. I hope that you understand it better now.
Yeah, no, definitely a lot better.
Dio says, well, obviously he was testing Sonny. He was feeding them false information and trying to flatter them, to trip them up. Yes, clearly, I'm sure that's how he's going to cope about it. I don't know why I stumbled over that statement so easily.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being so patient. You're so stupid. But I think I've done to get it now. I just can't believe there's spies in here, though. That's because, like, I read that out, it was really nice when he was here.
Yeah, and it's a shame. Yeah, it's just a shame. Like, I wouldn't have minded if those guys were here. If one, they were active. Two, they were here on good grounds. Sorry, if they were here on good grounds. If they weren't here for dishonest purposes. If they didn't throw around fucking pedophile this and that, yada yada. Yeah. It wouldn't have been so bad. We wouldn't have minded having people who oppose us on some things just here in the server. But here's the unfortunate part. This is what sucks. Is even if they didn't do all the things that they had done, there would have been a bit of a civil war probably would have broken out, because these people are all about their politics and shit. That they would try to dominate the server with telling us that we're terrible, wretched, awful people. And then again, it would have been a matter of oh, there's 200 of them and 70 of us. I mean, we can ban all of them, like, it's not a problem. But it could have been so much worse. And and the fact that we have a war of ideology that would have taken place more likely, it's even worse. Someone from their side could have eventually become friendly enough with us that they would have had that reputation that suggests that they would have been okay for being an admin. And then once that happens, then we could have been in real trouble.
Yeah, that would have been awful. So wait, so they're all gone now? Because I remember I only vaguely saw it. Like, yesterday, and you said that they were still.
They're all gone now, right?
Gone now?
Right?
Yeah, there are still people in that are likely to be feeding information to others. There's I don't. So here's the thing. I'm not worried that they're still here anymore, because they are ours now. And what I mean by that is because it took me a while to figure this out. I needed enough exposure to their side of the aisle to really be able to like think anything like this. But I was worried because I didn't want us to be made to look bad in the beginning to people that wanted to hurt us. But now that I see them for what they are, I know that they're going to take any information that they pull from the server and they're going to misrepresent it. And that's actually good for us, because we can use that against them as evidence. And they don't want to do that. And I'm very public about some of this shit. I'm very public, which is why I openly asked 21 fan. You've probably seen him around. I said,
I'll check. I think I know.
Yeah, because my last interaction with them, I think actually it's my only interaction with them ever. But I said, tell me something. What have you sent to others? You're not going to get kicked out or anything, because we're using you against others. Whatever the fuck it was, I said. It doesn't matter that you could be sending information. I'm just curious if you have. I had to confirm for me that you're in Gallagher's server. Okay, I had to confirm for me.
I didn't know.
And what?
I'm sorry, I was saying I didn't even know Gallagher had a server.
Yeah, Gallagher has a server. Yeah. So I had to confirm for me that 21 fan is in Gallagher's server, and I asked him straight. I said, hey, have you sent anything to anyone? It doesn't matter if you have or not. I just want to know, because we're not going to kick you out. That would be kind of weird. Like before we were concerned with that with spies and other things, but because we just wanted the server to be cool. We wanted people to be chill and not for people to feel this information. A bunch of fucking smear merchant cunts. Yeah. So
such horrible.
Yeah, because it's like then you don't feel safe in the server.
Yeah, exactly right. And I know that they don't give a fuck about that, but we cared about that, and they ruined our server, they ruined our community, with all their fucking hard bullshit. But no, I put it point blank. I said, like now it's like things are completely different now. Now it doesn't matter what you tell anyone, because you know they're anything that's given over to these idiots that want to do streams and make memes and stuff like that. You just are supplying them with shit that we can use against you. I'm telling you straight. You won't get kicked up. I'm curious what you've sent, if you sent anything. And I don't know if they're being fully honest with me because I think they think I'm a liar. Because why would you be in a server and interact so minimally, but also be in Gallagher's server, give off weird impressions that people can have of you? You know, and why are you in Gallagher's server in hours when I think it would come across as not making sense to be in two servers unless you're in it for trouble and drama and shit. And it's like.
And Sonny makes a valid point. He's sitting here talking about cross-referencing people in servers, but didn't notice it. Sonny is in my server as a moderator. Brilliant take.
You know, one server hurt the other. One Gallagher server in some capacity hurt our server. And they're probably talking about it still in some capacity. Why would you foster that? You know, being, you know.
They hurt you? A Discord raid hurt you. Like, if they had spammed some triggering stuff, I could buy that. But just coming in and saying you're creepy, what is wrong with you?
I guess a witness to that. If you're not going to tell us what's going on, we can never tell us what's going on. So you're not here for community. You're in the server for yourself. And I don't give a shit. Except before it was of greater concern. Yeah, there was also another person who, and I told them too that it doesn't matter if you're in Lio Convoy server, which they were when I was first had this shown to me. I was in they were in Lio Convoy server, maybe this, I don't know. But there was some weirdness to that. But I said very publicly, I said basically the same thing there, that this is awesome. This is awesome because if you tell anything to Lio, then it's awesome because he's probably gonna like get this completely wrong, and this is great for us because that hurts him. So we're happy to have you.
Well, I don't just randomly run with things. That's more of a you thing.
We're happy you're here, you know. And so this. Yeah, this person. So I'll tell you their username, which you probably find this pretty easily through the conversation. But I'll tell you it's pretty easily just because maybe you don't want to put up with that. They seem to potentially be okay, but they are highly suspicious. Kyramon. You know, they want to be upset with us, or even with me, about the fact that they don't know what they need to do to prove themselves, that they're not like, you know, suspect, that they're not like one of the Lio Convoys people, that they're not here to be all fucked up. And I think, listen, like it doesn't matter if you are, but so here's what's suspicious about them. So I can't believe this. And like before I even really started, I can understand why they may be annoyed that people are giving them problems, because they may have joined the Lio Convoy server, been mistreated on the spot over something for whatever reason, and then they may have joined us because they.
Yes, we just mistreat people immediately when they get an entryway. Saw
that we were opposite them. And like that may explain some idea of innocence that may actually imply with force that they're innocent. But what makes them suspect is not only are they in Lio Convoy server, they literally only started the day that they joined a server is the day they started their account. Okay, and then the other thing that the thing that heightens the suspect nature of things is that so when Glass Raven was passing around screenshots that seemed to indicate that Novax, you know, VX, that he's a fucked up person, the pedophile thing. As soon as those screenshots are being passed around, Kyramon, whatever they're called, joins our server. And then after I got into Novax's server to try to figure out what's going on, Kyramon showed up there as well. So if you're in Lio Convoy server and you just started your profile today, the day that Glass Raven is passing around screenshots to make Novax look bad. So you joined Lio Convoy server, then you joined ours, all on the same exact day that you started your account, during a time where people are waiting to go to Novax's server to find out for themselves what's really going on, and you end up in the server as well, Kyramon. I'm actually, it would surprise me so much. It's like there's almost no chance that you're innocent, Kyramon, because how is it that you are in Lio Convoy server, you just started the profile this day, and you're in our server, and then you, shortly after joining our server, you joined Novax's server, where the conversations took place that seem to indicate that Novax is potentially a pedophile. So I'm playing stupid on purpose, but also I just don't give a shit if you're a spy, because again, you're our ally now against them. Even though you may be feeding them information, you're ours now, because you only make it worse for them.
Master chess
have
player.
Such an ego, be so stupid as to think that you can never do any wrong in terms of this whole information warfare thing. They think that you can never do any fucking wrong, that you guys are openly making yourself obvious to collect information and everything else, and all these other things I could list, right?
Yeah, like
it's from Novax's server.
Oh, from Novax's server. Yeah, sorry.
You know, I'm just trying to clear that up.
Sorry,
there are.
I will have to dip soon, just because I gotta drive up to work, so I'm literally only here for like 10 more minutes, if that.
Yeah. That's right. No, that's right. I gotta go soon myself anyway, but there is still stuff in the server that you could actually find that still tries to paint the picture. Yeah. And sorry.
No, I was just going over. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's right. So I mean, there's still things that people could try to take out of context. But everything has an explanation, and I'm not deleting anything because I have nothing to hide. Which is why everything's as intact as I can manage.
Which is why Vlad and his crew apparently during all this went to his new server and he wound up locking it down because he has nothing to hide.
I don't like that the most of what was said in the raid was deleted because, like I told Lio Convoy and all those guys during the stream, I like a good show. I like to read these things. I like a good show. Yeah, and I would love to have all that stuff that was deleted to be able to read because I don't know all of what was said, but I sure would love to have a lot more evidence to use with everything. Like, you guys want to come in and say all this shit? All right, fine. I have lawyers in my family, so if you guys want to play the libel and slander game and all this other shit and nearly push a man to a suicide, okay, all right. I'm going to try to get money out of you now because you fucking deserve to be poor.
Watch out, guys. He's gonna hit me with a lol suit.
So,
Yeah,
anyway.
that's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, you should sue you. You should sue him. Sorry, brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, get money out of him. Get compensated.
Yeah.
I'm just broke money. I'm so broke. I have no money to go.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I'm pretty broke myself, but I was just never raised to value money, so I just don't. You know, I know it's important.
Yeah, well, I was raised to know it to work for it because it's important. I was raised to know it's important, but to not rely on it to live.
Yes.
To work hard, work hard for money. I wish I had the luxury of being able to be like, oh, I don't value money because that's what people who have money say. Most of the time. So I just work really hard for money. I'm just broke right now, so.
Yeah, and like if I had like a lot.
Watch out, Chris. Watch out. If you keep saying mean things about him, he'll sue you too.
Of fucking money, like a lot. Like if I had millions and millions of dollars, I will tell you, I know plenty of people. I'm sure you've got things that you want to do. People I regard positively. I'm very generous. I don't care about having a whole lot for myself. I just want to improve, the lives of people that could really use it. So like if you were trying to do something, yeah, we would do something about that. And it doesn't matter. I just don't give a fuck about having a whole lot for myself. Like I obviously need a lot of money in order to achieve even a fraction of what I'm trying to do. As it is, like I want to build infrastructure for localities and stuff. I want to start businesses. I want to build studios that artists can work in and have supplies on hand. And,
I don't know a single artist who would trust you within like a 500-foot distance.
Help with all kinds of shit. As is Router, his deal. Before we go, I'll say a few more things. Router's whole deal is for 6 months out of the year, he's in the States, and the other 6 months he's in the UK with his wife and child. He's doing the YouTube thing. He's doing the YouTube thing apart, so he can afford to actually stay with his wife and child. So that.
I've seen the numbers on his YouTube channel. I don't think he's getting enough to really justify that.
That's what he's, aside from any other thing he could cite, that's what he's doing this YouTube thing for, is to be able to be there with them and not have to be.
Well, it really sucks when these videos come out pointing out that his credibility is in the dirt then, doesn't it?
In the States for half a year, and then over there for half a year, and then, back and forth. So I'd like to be able to make that a possible thing. But, the world is hurting right now. People are in pain. If I could do something about that, I would. But for the time being, I think we'll just...
He's such a good guy, everyone.
I think we'll say our adieus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really nice to talk to.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a short break, and then we have one more shorter video to go through. It'll probably take about 30 minutes. And then I'm going to show you guys something Nick really wishes I didn't have. He really wishes I don't have it. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we'll get back to it. Try not to run off too far.
Stay with us. Thundercats will be back after this.
right. Thank you for still sticking around. Sorry, sometimes I have to get up and move around because I'm old and we've been at this for a while. I saw Sunny complaining that I didn't watch the rest of it, but we're going to. We're going to. It's okay. It's okay. So let's go ahead and finish this one, which is only a few more seconds. So we'll be good. We'll be good.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've always do. Nobody loves me and nobody wants to hang out with me.
I'll say that like whenever I have time, if I'm not doing shit like right now, yeah, I'm happy to hang out. So.
Oh, thank you.
You have fun today, okay?
Thank you. Today you caught me the worst day because I quit all day because otherwise we'd be here for ever.
Yeah, no kid. Until I have to call in if I do it also.
Yeah. Well, I will see you when I see you. Have a lovely day.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Bye.
Oh yeah. Hey, take care now, little lady.
I will do. Bye.
I'll be seeing you, little lady. Bye bye.
Bye. I'm gonna hang myself. Oh my god. What the fuck? Alright.
Gross! Little lady. Alright, so. Let's go ahead now and try to get through the second one. Which thankfully is much shorter, so it'll probably take us about 30 minutes on this one. Because this one's a little bit more aggro in terms of the stuff he says.
Now.
Okay, have fun. Try not to kill yourself.
I'm gonna kill myself. Bye, guys.
That was Sunny going from Vlad's server to this guy's call.
Hello. Oh, I can't hear you. I think your mic is broken.
Hello?
Oh my god, you popped up for like a second there.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, what's up, bro?
Nothing much. I'm just bored.
Yeah. I'm gonna brush my hair for work. You like my beard? I like my beard. My beard, does it make you giggle?
Oh, yeah. Oh, please don't eat it. It will make you sick. If it's anything.
I'm Dr. Robotnik. How's it going?
Don't insult the doctor like that.
It's going. I'm so sorry. I'm very tired. I'm just trying to get my jaw doing.
Yeah, that's alright. I'm gonna stand on the chair so you can see how long my hair is. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, get ready for work. And nice to see you.
I'm glad I managed to pop in for a bit. I'm just so sorry. I'm very tired today. I'm just trying to find more stuff to listen to while I draw.
Trying to find more fun stuff to listen to while you draw?
Yeah, I'm tempted.
Don't worry, Vlad. I'll send them to you.
I'm tempted to listen to the. I really want to listen to the freaking video that what's his name, Gilded Poo made, just to see what they're saying. Just because obviously now I know everything. I just want to hear how wrong they are. But I don't know. I feel like I get annoyed listening to it. Is it that?
Yeah. I'd say so because the interpretations that they have in mind are so rooted in all their own speculation. Because when you're surrounded by a bunch of people that are speculating just about the same thing, it's hard to think otherwise, especially since like you only care to see the people that others are talking about as curious and suspect. So when people are being seen as curious and suspect, it's kind of hard to try to trust the people that are being speculated about, because like those people are in the I guess you could say hot seat, you know?
You mean like you do everybody?
So like it's kind of like being involved in a legitimate police investigation. You're like, well, we're involved in this thing because we all believe, the group believes that these people have done something wrong. So like going against that kind of puts me outside of the group. So yeah, in order for you to be involved, and here's the other thing too. This is what makes it difficult for people like Gilded Poo. If he were to be opposite them on things, then he would.
These calls happened early last week.
Lose access to resources because they all share the same information between each other.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you an example. 3 of the people in their network all posted about the same person on the same exact day.
You said that was just a robot, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it was Lio Convoy, Gilded Poo, and Ace Space. I believe they were 3 that all posted this on the same exact fucking day about the same exact fucking guy. So yeah, they're definitely connected. They're definitely peers. I don't know if they call each other friends because they act like they hate each other.
Are we friends, Vlad? Are we bestest of friends?
On some level, each of them. They act like they have a problem with each other on some level. But I don't know. I just know that we're gonna release what we're gonna release, and then we're gonna move on from them as a topic because they're worth forgetting about. You know, these are the kinds of people you don't want to continually talk about because then you're just involved in making your life about them, and that's not really good.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, when is that video? Oh no, sorry, I completely forgot you said it was gonna be after Lio's video.
Yeah. Well, that's the idea that Router has with his videos. He's waiting till Lio releases his video so that Lio can't adjust things on his end, and then put out something then that accounts for everything that Router had said. But here's the thing also, Router, because I read the script and I even sat with him and 2 people that he talks to, and those 2 people he spoke with are pretty fucking reasonable as far as I can tell.
Very reasonable, which is why the video is an absolute dumpster fire. You guys are certainly a brain trust.
We all determined, established the facts, and we even talked about like details and things, and brainstormed how to approach some things. So like we're not going about it, as if like it doesn't matter how we approach this. No, we're going about it with methodically and sensibly is how we're approaching these things because we have to. And I even told Router in a pretty long message, I'm like, hey, how you deal with this is you do basically how others have done in the past to do with these guys, where you just produce videos that include evidence and then you move on. And the person that I use as an example he's called Akumu. Akumu has produced video after video after video about Lio, and it's the majority of what's in each video is all true. And he provides evidence, this, that, and the other thing. And Lio and his friends haven't made it a point to publicly bother Akumu. and also Router has like 10k subs. So even if those guys that we have a problem with, even if they decide to give Router trouble, the guys that we're talking about here, we've got like 10,000 people that are going to see a video full of evidence and go, yeah, dude, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be bothering us because it's clear in this video that you're wrong, and we already think more of Router than we ever could of you. So coming around here, you're already dealing with a 10,000 strong legion.
They got an army, guys. They got an army. They're gonna come against us. If we're using logic on that, don't I have like 18,000 subs? Are you kidding me? This is the dumbest point to make.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that, like, okay, I know I'm like literally nobody, like, I have no game phone at all, so I understand I don't have any clout or anything, but if you ever need like any help at all, even if it's just like you need, like, I took English literature, that was my thing in college, so if you ever need like anyone to read over stuff, like, I'm happy to help any way you need.
Also, fun fact, Akumu does not care about this guy or any of this.
Oh, if it's just moral support is also fine. I don't know, I just feel really bad because like the situation is so awful, and like I don't know, if you need anything at all, literally just like my DMs are always open.
Hey, cool, yeah. I don't know if we're friends or whatever here. I don't believe we are. But as it is, yeah, I don't think we are. So that could be good. If you want to be Discord friends and stuff, that'd be cool. But I do have a document that I'm going to be using in part to like when I produce my videos, because the focus to do with my videos has a great part to do with the cross-examination I had conducted over like the course of a week to do with Router's video and the stream he had, and it deals with like oh hey.
I mean, yeah, I didn't even look at Akumu's videos. I was kind of busy at the time. I'm sure it's filled with things that are incorrect, but is it really worth my time to go at it with him about? Probably not, but he also never called me a groomer, so, you know.
You guys said this in the stream, but this is what was actually said in the video. You guys also said this later on in the stream, but if you go back and you look at the stream, before this point, you'll see that you actually said XYZ, and then there's also the psychological analysis of how Lyo and Ace conduct themselves. So I got a bunch of stuff written down.
Watch out, guys! Big Brain's gonna psychoanalyze me like everybody else has tried to and failed. There's only one person who has done any psychoanalyzing of me other than Monstrous. Has been any actual like round of correctness. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but there's at least one other person. They know who they are.
I won't be able to send it just yet, because I got to go work here in a moment. But if you want to look at what's written, then like I don't mind passing it along, because I'm going to use things.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, even if you sent it, like, if you sent it real quick before you left, and then I could look at it while you're in work, and then when I see, I'll probably go to sleep before you get back from work. But I could look at it while you're in work, and then I can go to sleep, and then we can see each other again, and I'll tell you my thoughts.
Oh, I totally would, but it takes a second to boot up my computer, and I have to leave in like 3 minutes.
Oh, you don't have docs on your phone?
No, everything's on my computer. I'm talking to you on my phone right now, so.
Okay. Sorry.
No, sorry. I would totally send it over, but like right now, but I have to go in a few minutes, or I would. But yeah. Yeah, so, but that's what's up, though. That's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, like especially because I know a lot more about the situation, I feel like I can definitely give a bit more insight. I'll have a look at like some of the live streams and stuff, just so I know what they're saying versus you. And wasn't it? I don't know, because I know Lyo and Gilded Poo accused you of like being like creepy or what, like a predator. I don't like saying that word, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Is it just those or the other ones?
What do you mean when you say is it just those?
Like, were they the only ones accusing you of being a predator?
Well, this is I'll put it like this, right? There are people who have been putting materials on the internet in a few places that show the picture of what appears to be a kind of person, and that's suggestion by itself speaks to the person and implies enough that you don't have to say any particular words for you to get across a particular idea. I mean, that's what propaganda is. Not completely just what that is, but that's what propaganda is suggestion through imagery.
Wait, so who did that to you?
That would be Yen, Netherless, Gallagher, Ace, Gilded Poo, Lyo Convoy. I'm pretty sure there's a few other names, but like as you can tell, I could literally keep going.
See, the thing is, I was trying to get information out of him using Sunny about who previously accused him of being a predator to thousands of people, because I was curious about what the background of that is, but instead he's more focused on the here and now. So maybe one day I'll find those people. Maybe one day.
I think he's even given Ant. There's one.
And these are all the YouTubers? I'm only asking because, like, obviously, if I'm gonna help, it's easier to just go to those channels and like and look at what they're saying so I can like disprove them.
Well, so the thing is, it's not even a matter of disproving them right now. And as it is also, I don't care to try to have them disproven at the current point. I'm not even approaching any of their materials myself, because anything that is currently, right now, that is something I'm going to be making use of later to illustrate the point. And so I'm letting their materials stay out to show also that they haven't given thought to the idea that they could feel guilt about this. They're set in their ways, their opinions, great. You can't do anything. But what I will do is I will use what they post to my benefit. But that's not worried about that. But what I will say is, if you want something to listen to, to do with this that has some length to it. I don't know if you've seen the Glass Raven stream, but what I will say is, because I can tell you this, that, and everything up and down all fucking day, but like I said before, think for yourself. What I would say is, listen to the Glass Raven stream, and then just try putting yourself as like outside of any sort of like bias you may have towards anyone, and just listen to yourself and ask like, what do I think as a neutral observer? And I'll just write down whatever notes that you said, and then show.
I'm sorry. I was saying it's really hard to be unbiased because like these people suck. I'm sorry, that's really mean to say. They just suck.
No, it's all right. Because that's my opinion as well. But the thing is, even though I understand things a certain way, it's always good to hear from other people. And at the same time, it's like I could do anything under the sun to make you put you under an impression of some kind. But people who act for a living, actors, right, only so good at their job as they are good at lying, right? So people who are
Sonny was sweating bullets at this moment, I'm telling you.
are good at acting, it just means that they're good at lying to people. And so even if like someone could say that I'm a liar or something, the difference is I can prove everything I'm saying. But if you were to assume the role of a neutral observer as best you can, just listen to like the words. Like I explain at length various things because I can't just answer yes or no to a lot of questions because there's a lot of detail, there's a lot of reason, and it's not cut and dry like you think it is. But also they're under the impression so much so as they are because that's where they're at. So for them to not get a straight yes or no answer, that frustrates them. And they just want me to agree and lay down and die, which is what they basically got from Router, which is unfortunate. But I'm not somebody who can push around when I'm not incorrect.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people. Yeah, no, I get it. I definitely give the stream a listen to. It's just gonna be so annoying to get there.
That's right. I'll say this. Even though at points it looks a little dicey, and some people may think it gets a little bit rough here and there. I'll say this much: I wish there were 3 times as many people there because I have enough. The kind of person I am, I'm energized by like the. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, I just put my headphones on. The kind of person I am, the more people that there are involved, the more interactive I become, and I really liked that they were becoming frustrated and everything else with things because you could tell. This is why I like that they were becoming frustrated, right? You could tell that all they wanted was for me to just agree because they believe so strongly the things they're saying because they have a narrative they're pursuing and they have a career they're trying to build off the back of drama. So they literally are looking for a negative headline to promote. Yeah. And you can't get that from me. Yeah, you can't get that from me if the facts aren't in their court. It's literally possible to get nonsense from me when I don't. I'm not going to produce nonsense when I'm defending myself.
Exactly. But that's why I'm so excited for your video because I can't wait to see like what you're going to say. I don't even. I literally. I was like so rude for not even asking like what the video's going to like have it in.
Oh yeah. No, that's totally right.
Is it just gonna be like? Sorry, I'm so nosy. Like you can totally tell me to shut up if you want to. But like, right. No, I just know. Like, is it like Oh God, is it just gonna be a debunking video, or do you have like stuff on them? Sorry, that's so nosy. But it's like watching a movie. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's disrespectful or not. I'm sorry.
No, it's totally fine. You're fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think it's rather charming that this is how you're reacting to things. No, it's good because it's totally right. It's totally right. Listen. I'll tell you this. So the first thing, and no one really knows this except for me and a few others, but I'm actually starting a new channel to put these videos on. Yeah, I'm starting a new channel because I've been feeling for a while that it's probably good for me to put serious long form videos on a different channel anyway because my main channel that's a variety hour thing where I just put whatever I feel like on the channel, and people didn't really take me all that seriously when I had this some of these long form videos up.
Oh, hello. Oh no, he died.
Yeah,
okay.
Can you hear me? You there?
Hello, I'm sorry, you cut out a bit.
Yeah, I'm walking to work. I hope it doesn't break up too much, but yeah, so it's all good. So I'm starting a new channel. It's gonna be for long form videos, things that matter. And so the first of 3 videos on this topic is gonna be it's an introduction to the culture surrounding predator hunting. Because there are people that they go and they hunt predators down, people who go after children. And I want to go after that topic. So you show like this is how you do it. This is the way to get results. This is what people have been doing. Yada yada. And then on the other side, you have these guys over here. And then
Yes, because if anybody knows about how to get results in predator hunting, it would be the guy who doesn't want to kick a 16-year-old out of spaces they're being inappropriate in. Right? This dude has no clue what he's talking about. He has no clue how I operated. Most people don't. Most people think that the reason I got in trouble last year was over my predator hunting. It wasn't. It was over how I reacted to certain people. It's how I talked to other people. Like, goofy.
Then we start to bring up this, that, everything, yada yada. And then so after establishing what the whole predator hunting thing is and people who have been effective, I'm going to discuss Router's video and then talk about the history, the timeline, and show like, okay, Router's video, and then what resulted was the stream. And then when we start talking about the stream, I'm going to be using Router's video to sort out the stream as the stream moves along. And then also talk about like the logic of language as we move to the stream, because these guys that Router was talking to, they made so many mistakes. I saw, and mind you, when the stream was taking place, I only saw, because I was at work, I only saw 8 minutes of it, and I saw enough to realize that these guys are so fucked up. These guys are so fucked up. And like when I realized that when I watched the stream in full, there's probably gonna be a lot more that's fucked up. And it was a bad situation. It was getting worse. And then from there, and then from there, talk about like some of the stuff that was caused to happen with the server. Hey, what's up, Kudro?
Hey. Hi. Hello. We were just talking about. Am I allowed to say?
What?
Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I don't know if this is classified or not.
No, it's all good. Okay. It's all good. Kudro has probably some kind of idea about what I'm planning on doing. I just haven't discussed too much anywhere, intentionally or otherwise, what I'm doing with the with all this stuff that's been happening lately. The 3-part video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So part 1, like I said, it's going to do with predator hunting culture, and then the video Router put out, then the stream that Router was in, and then things to do with the server and what was caused to happen from the stream then out. And then from there, I'm going to go with part 2 of the 3-video series, arc, trilogy, whatever. Talk about things to do with me and the stream I was on, and things to do with the server, things surrounding that, and then show like, when I go and I talk about things to do with the stream that I was on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be laying out a number of stories to do with where false accusations ended up causing for people to lose their life, and show like how serious this shit is. Because when you do,
unless it's towards me, then it's fine. by this guy's logic.
When you do involve false allegations and out of context screenshots and other things, you cause people to either be pursued, or you cause for people who were falsely accused to either take their own life, or they end up in prison. Their mother dies, and then their mother dies thinking that their son is a child molester or a rapist or whatever, and they get cleared of charges. So I'm off to work. I'm sorry, so that's part 2. Part 2 is going to be dealing with like my stream and the consequences of and things to do with reality, to do with false allegations, accusations. Part 3 is going to deal with like what came after all the stream shit discussions to do with that. I haven't quite hammered out what like the real plan idea for part 3 is, but I may actually.
You guys got like a loose plan about it?
Yeah.
Well, so the thing is, because I'm involving a decent amount of analysis and things I'm doing, this is the reason I'm waiting for Lio's video to come out, because I don't know what's needing to be said, because I don't know, sorry, bus driving by, I don't know the details of what's contained in the Lio video, but also there were a series of streams and videos put on with people like Gilded Pooh and Ace and other people that's like, even though there was just a fucking stream put on and shit, and this is coming after my stream with Glass Raven, you guys put on your streams and shit, where, you guys went after all these materials and everything else, and it's kind of hard to take these people seriously and see their videos as being worth uploading and everything else when you had every opportunity to have things disproven, and you either ignored what was disproven, or you doubled down, or something. I'm sorry, that's from walking and talking. No matter.
No,
That's okay.
Yeah. I just hope I get to work on time. But yeah. You guys like my walking appearance? You guys?
Yeah, you're totally. Yeah, you're good, man.
Yeah, I gotta wait for this guy to pass. Anyway, I can't wait to put these videos into motion, because holy shit. So here's just the issue, right? Is the longer these guys go uncontested, the worse it seems to get. However, if they go completely uncontested, just by nature of, I don't feel like bothering. That's a fucking problem, guys. This is why.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, this is why you gotta speak up if you know what the hell's going on, because I don't want to be like, you don't have to, obviously you don't have to bother with things, right? That'd be like the bad kind of peer pressure, but it's that when you're aware of things and you realistically don't really have much to lose, except people online are gonna call you a faggot or whatever. Like, we're valuing brittle feelings, because with being so concerned about people calling you a faggot, and you talk about women a certain way, other things, these are all brittle feelings, these are all brittle thoughts, it's all shallow shit.
But calling you a creep is somehow big business. That's not brittle and shallow at all, right?
Because these are all just words. The issue comes when you may have made it easy for people to dox you, and people do dox you, and if you don't practice safe conduct online to do with links that you click on, there are ways. There are ways for you to keep from worrying about things, this, that, and the other. But I'll tell you, it can be really hard to keep from being doxxed. I'll give you guys a great example of a fucking terrible horror story. There's some influencer, Asian lady, I don't know her name, whatever, but she had someone who was so obsessed with her, and what I'm about to tell you guys, I'm seriously not even joking when I tell you guys the story. It's so batshit that it's such a cautionary tale that it's no wonder people don't put pictures of themselves online. But this lady, she's an influencer thing, whatever, and someone who's obsessed with her literally tracked her down because she took a picture of herself at a train station. Now, here's how she was tracked down. Okay?
I know the story you're talking about. It's a Japanese streamer, and the guy managed to find out where he was.
There's actually a question about whether or not that was legitimately how he did it. So, just putting that out there.
By using the reflection of her fucking eyes.
I didn't know that.
The reflection of her eyeball was like...
I know it's fucked up, but I'm honestly super impressed he did that.
Right?
I'm not super impressed. Yeah, no, because I'm so sorry, girl, but damn, you gotta respect Gamer's game.
You have to recognize the intelligence of that guy. Holy shit! It reminds me of there's a really funny story about 4chan that's kind of similar. 4chan, of course, the website, you had all these crazy people on it. So one day, 4chan, they saw this video. It came out of an ISIS training camp. Okay, now the guys that were watching this from 4chan, the guys that were watching this ISIS training camp, they noticed the power lines in the area, and they coordinated an effort to determine the exact location of the power lines, and they found where the camp was. Then one of those guys who has friends in the military, they passed on the details that this is where this camp is located, and just from the power lines in the ISIS training camp video, we're able to coordinate an actual missile strike on the fucking terrorist camp from just the fucking power lines.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
That's bad. 4chan's amazing, whether or not being autistic.
Yeah. So, I mean, you gotta be careful. So, if you don't really have those things to worry about, right? You don't really have pictures out there. You don't really talk about how you just went to Sheetz to go get some food. Sheetz is it's a regional gas station. If you don't talk about how you went to Sheetz, if you don't take a picture of yourself,
which is why he's talking about it, clearly in the Northeast. Very smart of him.
Oh. Did he die? Or did I die? Oh my god, kill me. Hello.
Welcome back.
It just completely cut out for me. I don't know what happened.
It's probably
the weather.
Oh, it just hates me. This one hates me.
Yeah, my signal may be bad because of the weather in the area is kind of bad. So, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
But I mean, honestly, straight up, if you don't really have much to worry about, and you recognize that words are just words, right? The most that you may have to worry about is someone doxing you and actually finding your fucking house. If you know things, speak up. Maybe. And I'm not going to sit idly by and say nothing when not only do I not value my own life, I am someone who lives to fuck evil in the ass against its.
Take in what he just said. He doesn't value his own life, but he lives to F evil in the A. Yeah, you're a real tough guy.
Well, okay. Yeah, so if I can manage to put someone put a spotlight on someone and really speak out about them to great effect, I'm going to do that, and you're not going to do anything about it because no one can stop me.
Well, it's nature.
Yeah, you should do it.
Yeah, and I mean, like...
Oh, sorry.
Sorry? Yeah, no, sorry, you were saying something?
No, I was just gonna say, like, it's good. So I guess it's less of like a exposed video and more like a retrospective and like contemplation video type thing.
I mean...
yeah, that sounds about right.
Something to that degree, yeah, because I mean, I'm not really exposing much except for like the mechanics of language and pointing out like where someone fucked up. Because these guys during their various streams, they pursued enforcement of lies and manipulation because the entire stream was manipulative. And like I'll give you a great example. After their stream happened, when I was streaming with Glass Raven and them, now these are people who will tell you that they're attentive. These are people who will tell you they watched the entire stream, right? Glass Raven said about the stream that it was a respectful stream. I'm sorry, let me repeat that. Glass Raven said the stream with Ace and Router was a respectful stream. Okay,
oh, yeah,
if you watch the stream, yeah, if you watch that stream for even like 20 minutes, you know she's full of shit. And the funny thing is, she was like, because at one point during the stream I had with them, I said, do any of you know exactly what grooming means? And Glass Raven says that she's an English
child and stuff.
Well, so Glass Raven says that she's an English language major, and it says that the definition, she says that the definition means sexual something or other, and that is not the definition. That's not the definition. The definition of grooming...
It wasn't the context in which it was being discussed. This guy was... And again, everything's linked in the description now. This dude tried his best to pivot and say, well, when Router said grooming, it probably just meant XYZ thing. No, he's just dishonest loud.
That's like the common definition of it.
No, that's the definition of people online that want to involve themselves in drama. That's the definition of people that are so concerned with...
Yes, because concerning yourself with whether or not children are safe is just drama mongering, right? Moron.
Children, they'll make them wear plastic armor wherever they go, okay? No. The definition of grooming...
Yeah, this guy just wants you to toss your children at every single predator online, because otherwise you're just doing a disservice to the children.
It's actually something that takes place. It's quite common, actually. It's to prepare someone for a task or an activity. Okay? Your own employers do this, military does this, sports teams do this. Grooming is commonplace, okay? But the
well, technically, when you do it with sports, it's called conditioning.
Well, evil version of grooming would be the sexual, this, that, and the other thing. So, I mean, regardless of where you are...
You could... Yeah. It is true, because, like, once upon a time, gay was, used as another way of saying you're happy. Now it's like, homosexuality.
Yeah, it went from being happy to being about homosexuals to some people would use gay to mean obnoxious. Yeah.
I mean, everybody in my server and chat's gay, so take that as you will.
Yeah, it just, the morphology of language is real. But Glass Raven said that she's an English language major, and then followed it by saying the definition of grooming is, and she uses a sexual version of it, when grooming is not just that.
Sexual connotation of it.
Yeah, and grooming is not just that, right? Like, we all know that, but that's beside the point. These people, they'll look to particulars about things and either enforce the particulars that may not completely apply or may not be exactly the case, or it may be just like a microcosm of what that thing is. But on top of that, there's manipulation of poor memory, right? People with poor memory would go, yeah, I guess the stream was positive because everyone ended off on a good note saying, thanks, I'm sorry, but the stream wasn't civil, okay? And
this dude just thinks that Router was bullied. Trust me, if anybody's heard an old-fashioned Senate call and then hears that call or that stream, trust me, that man was not bullied.
You're gonna spin it as though it were. I'm sorry, you can't fucking fool me. I'm not a dumbass like the rest of you dumbasses.
No, you're just a different breed that's dumber.
Woo! Yeah. Yeah. I still have a lot of work to do with everything I plan on doing, but I don't have a reason to act just yet. And the reason I haven't decided to act just yet on even compiling, like starting the edit on the video, is because like I've gotten shit written down in documents. There's stuff written in documents, but I also don't know how much will be affected by whatever Lyle Convoy does with his video. So I get to see what Lyle Convoy does with his video before I can really do anything more. And I'm getting really antsy. This guy, this fucking nigger was fuck.
Let's go back. I want you guys to hear that. Now keep in mind, earlier you could validate it saying, of course you can't really, but you could validate it saying, well, he was just quoting Vlad to people. Listen to what he says. Listen very closely.
See what Lyle Convoy does with his video before I can really do anything more. And I'm getting really antsy. This guy, this fucking nigger was fuck.
Hard R, right there. Because he was upset with somebody in a truck. But Vlad's people are bad. Like, you can't keep inconsistent values in that. Like, I have friends who have said in calls slurs and things like that. I do not validate those. I don't appreciate those. I won't say them. But this guy is saying it was wrong, but also he does it. That's a problem.
Jesus Christ. Just wow. Anyway. Holy shit. There's just so much to say. There's so much to say, and I can't wait.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to hear it.
Yeah, I can't wait either, guys. Like, I'm super antsy. Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah. And one of the funniest things about it is, so the kind of person I am, okay, is you guys have heard the term feeding the troll, right? Right? You guys have heard the term before, feeding the troll?
Yeah, I have.
Hey, no problem. Feeding the troll, obviously it's like, oh, give the troll more attention. Here's the thing. I love to feed the troll. I love it. You know why? Because once you feed the troll, it literally is like a situation where predator becomes a prey, right? The trolls who are so engaged in like their activity, if you get in their way, they like start to like have a little bit of a malfunction thing. You know what I mean? They have a little bit of trouble. And so if you feed the troll, you like basically take all their I guess energy. Their momentum, basically, yeah. Their power isn't taken from them. It's just then they have to reset. Why is this military plane flying so close to us? Holy shit, guy! Why is it so close to the ground? Get out of here, dude! Anyway. Yeah, you ruin their momentum, like the trolls, if you do that. And often what I do is, I feed the trolls so that, I get in the way of their target, because I'm suddenly a new focus. Now, this is a sort of like that, right? Where they're going to be irritated at Router, and then they're going to see 1, 2, 3 videos come out from me, and then they won't be so focused on Router as they will be focused on me. And the problem for them is all 4 videos, I say 4 because Router's 1, my 3, all 4 videos are going to be so loaded with facts, evidence, and analysis, they will be so troubled that they won't really know how to operate. And if you're going to argue against videos full of proof and evidence, you'll just look like a fucking retard. So I'm happy to facilitate that.
Yes, I'm totally scared of his video, totes.
Yeah,
so,
that's gonna be super fun.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. In the meantime, I gotta go. I just got to work. I'll talk to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for
Okay,
being
good
here.
talk. Yeah, you take it easy, my man.
Yep, see you guys.
Bye, have a nice day. Oh, sorry, keep going.
Well, what?
Sorry, I'm basic.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. And we are going to switch over to something in just a moment. So let me go ahead and get that pulled up. And let's see if I can get into something more comfortable. One moment. Make sure this is all good, all Gucci. One moment. Well, I wanted to have some fun on Superb Owl Sunday. So, time to switch into something a little more comfortable you've already seen. Hello! This is my reading area. So, there was something Sunny was very interested in getting from Dork there. And that is his doc that he was writing. Now, Mr. I'm 4 steps ahead. I am super ultra mega big brain. I am the troll that gets their attention, and haha. He gave this to Sunny. And then when he found out Sunny was on the stream, he tried deleting it. Funny thing is, though, is Sunny's not as dumb as people want to think, and already made a copy of it. So I have to know, Nick, tell me in your server, or your brilliant video, what it feels like to get outplayed. And the chat can enjoy this too. I'm making it public. So, we're going to have a little bit of reading time. We're going to reading rainbow this sucker. We're going to have some butterflies in the skies. We can go twice as high. Yes, Heaton, I would, but obviously not this stream. So, the first bit of it is him literally just making notes about Router's video. And here he says, context, Lio is married. The joke seems to be that he wants children, but seemingly can't, so he adopts adult children, men or women, I'm not sure. After adopting these children, he would quickly initiate them into the Senate, a Discord server for people who are troubled. He was? Huh. Ran by Lio himself and powered by autism. Okay, that last part isn't incorrect. Alright, and so is my current one. I can't even deny that one. Finally, something true. It is absolutely powered by autism. The server is strange, and the mods tend to deem someone worthy of judgment for whatever reasons. The person is dragged into a Discord call, and any number of people may join in to dogpile the subject of scrutiny, berating them in submission, while Lio threatens to dox, harass, or expose them if they leave, because it's in Lio's nature to do so. I wonder why I haven't done that to you yet, then. Why would he do this, and how did they determine who's worthy? Well, we had them with Mjolnir. I'm not sure, but Lio takes himself very seriously. Brother, you just went on a literal villain monologue about how smart you are. Come on. He thrives on being someone you shouldn't F with because he has connections and ambition. I do? What's my ambition? What's my ambition? Questions for later. What I've noticed about Lio is his hero's complex. I'm sorry, what now? So anybody who wants to help somebody has a hero complex? That's fascinating. He has a tendency to hype himself up, even when he isn't trying. I speak with authority. I am so sorry you're troubled by that. He wants to impress an idea of himself upon you. Who doesn't? This is dumb. But he says stupid crap like this. Paraphrasing Lio Convoy, the reason this guy hasn't been acting the way he has on his channel recently because he decided my advice that's helped him before wasn't valid. That's from my jar video, when I released the call. Like, this dude, Router tried to frame me talking about Jar and how he stopped listening to me as evidence that I try to hype myself up, as opposed to a factual reality literally anybody who knows this idiot would tell you. Even the people who hate me will tell you this is just factual. Now, let's go ahead and move through all of this. Because again, he really, this is Sunny's copy, but he really didn't want this coming out. He really didn't. So I'm so very happy it did. So very happy it did. So, let me go ahead and go through the meat, because this is a 29-page doc. Alright? 29-page doc we got. We're on page 3. The timeline was difficult to put together in less than a week, so please check Gilded Poo in his videos. He does really good work. He even spoke to me once. Oh, that was in relation to Router's video. Notes on Ace's stream with Router, 240. Ace asked Router if he's familiar with Smash Bandicoot at all, and that he feels it's weird to say Lio is worse. I'm pretty sure Smash had CP and animal porn on his hard drive. Router says that he's heard that, but he can't verify it. The first note is important. How do you not verify it? He did it all the time! 333. Ace. You talk about how Lio went after some bronies, but then said you had one or more on your team and that you felt obligated to defend them. I'm curious about that. Router. Let me clarify that I have furries in my server to watch my videos, and not to my knowledge, they haven't been attacked by Lio. I just happened to mention he goes after furries, and I have a few furries that watch my videos and enjoy my content. They are part of his staff. Novax is part of his staff. Novax is a furry. He's a protogen, specifically. And I know I have at least one person in my server, but my chat that has a protogen PFP. I say this without any malice towards you, but there's something wrong with a lot of people who use that. I don't know why, but there is. Someone called Rel joins the stream society. Relolin! According to Smash. That's how you pronounce Relolin's name. Relolin! Ace. So, you don't actually have... The people Lio went after weren't actually any of your friends. You're just talking about furries generally. Router says yes. Ace, the wording wasn't good. I think one of the most serious things was this statement, bringing up a timestamp of Router's video. Ace reads, he's also known for running a server called The Senate, which is believed to be made up of young children or young adult females from various backgrounds, possibly suffering from some form of mental or physical abuse, that he may or may not be grooming, and all of this comes with a heavy alleged. Okay, let's go ahead and assume that I have a whole bunch of women who were suffering from mental or physical abuse in my server. If they're there, they're probably there because they feel like it's safe. Why in the world would I abuse that, of all people? Ace, that's an insane allegation to put into a public video, especially with no evidence. Can you prove that there were children in Senate? Router, no, that's the issue. This is comments from the writer. This has all been heard and suspected by people who are aware of and familiar with Lio. Okay. Suspected and heard literally means nothing. You need evidence. His history and his activities. While evidence should have been given in Router's video, Hopeless Peaches and others who are connected to Lio can cite, show, confirm things of this nature. When do they? Oh, they don't. The use of alleged is required to discern that this is only just what's being gleaned from. So, by his logic, I could say, Router allegedly touches every kid in his neighborhood. And to Nick here, that'd be fine to actually put in a video. Now, I'm not actually saying that. I'm using it as an example. It's egregious and you shouldn't. So this is asinine. Well, when did Lio have a harem? Well, according to some people, Heaton's part of it. So, take that as you will. Dio will come for me in the night. The use of alleged is required to discern that this is only what's gleaned from. Light to medium study. It's not far-fetched idea to say that this could be happening. Even still, given the past, which is, again, why so much room is given over a particular language, which is believed to be, possibly suffering from, may or may not, allegedly, are all made use of because they have to be. The lack of evidence is disappointing, but you don't need to look far to find some amount of it. Then why couldn't you find it? It's been a month. Why haven't you found it, Nick? Because it doesn't exist. This entire thing is essentially Nick stumbling over himself to try to excuse Router's garbage. Ace, why would you claim that if you can't prove it? Router, because I'm reporting on what I could find. I'm not saying it's true. That's why there's a heavy alleged there. I'm reporting on what what we could actually put together. Let me clarify my channel. I make fun of people. He's very bad at that, by the way. I don't do anything else. Then why are you so mad when the piss got taken out of you, buddy? Come on. People enjoyed that and made requests, so I started doing that. At the end, people would comment, saying that they don't know who this is, there's no context, you're just making fun of people, so I decided to start trying to do my own research. As you should! So, what, did he... Somebody needs... Vlad's probably going to, because fun fact, when Vlad and I were beefing, Vlad went through every single video and live stream I've had. That man has watched more of my toy reviews than any other human being on the planet. So it wouldn't surprise me if Vlad's like ADHD, and I'm not saying that to mock him, he has it, going through every single video. So he's just admitting he doesn't do his own research. It's been a big issue, but this story was so difficult to put together. How? And honestly, I didn't want to put it out. It wasn't finished already. Then why did you, stupid? Ace, then why did you do it? Ray Lowland, didn't you, Router, say something that you had clips in the video that you could add to the allegations, or am I wrong? Ace, keeping it in chronological, when you, Router, say that one claim that there were children in the Senate, you also talk about how you have reason to believe there's some truth to it, that you're going to provide context, facts, evidence you found to show evidence for that claim. There wasn't really anything in the video that shows there were kids in Senate, or that Lio Convoy was really grooming anyone. True. Router, to clarify, there is no evidence. I just found anywhere that there were children in the Senate. The only thing I found that had that information was on Kiwi Farms. They also mentioned a 17-year-old was the only thing I found. But he couldn't find evidence. Somehow. Ray Lolin, unintelligible. Yeah, that happens with Ray Lolin. Is the only one, and they were... Oh! They're talking about Lin Lin. Lin Lin is the only one, and they were brought in because Vincent Skullman was apparently lying to her constantly, and she was immediately banned afterward. Yeah, she was removed. We have occasionally let a child in when we're trying to verify something, trying to stop a conflict. And Vincent Skullman, by the way, has been doing tons of victory laps over the fact that I got in trouble, the fact that Jars and Heat. Vincent, you're no better. You are a deceptive, duplicitous piece of trash. And the minute you finally find out where your courage is, then we can talk again. Ace, putting that aside, do you understand how serious it is to accuse others? I know you said alleged, but you accused a man of being a groomer with nothing to show, and you said you couldn't find evidence of it. That's crazy. Router, I don't really see it as crazy. I see it as publishing information so people know where the story begins. I wonder if he keeps that value up if it was directed towards him. Ace, if you're putting out information, it's literally just word of mouth. You have to show receipts. Would it bother you if someone made a video about you, saying that you groomed someone without evidence? Router, maybe. It hasn't happened to me. But I also don't have a Discord server that's based around pulling people into... I'm curious. You can criticize Senate for how we handled things, but how is pulling in people to yell at them the same as grooming children? Especially when a lot of people we pulled in were child predators. I'm curious about that. Can you answer to me that, Nick? How about you, Router? I don't have any sort of reason to have accusations like that thrown at me. Actually, you do. Because you found out one of your mods is a predator, and not only did you give him the server the same day the evidence came out, you didn't kick him immediately. I'm not pulling these things out my butt. Well, I mean, he is. Ace and Lio does. Router, apparently, people have these things to say. Imagine. Ace, I know there's things to criticize Lio over. I won't pretend he's perfect. Based. Router, I'm not criticizing Lio for anything, but I am providing information. Does Router not know what the word criticize means? Reloading. By the way, this is all on Ace's stream if you want to just go listen to that. But you did say you believed it for a good reason, Router. I do. Reloading. But you believe it without any evidence. Note from the writer, you can believe something without providing evidence for that thing while talking about it. Yeah, you can. But, something like this is a little more important than just saying, I believe this actor sucks. Ace, do you have a bias against Lio? Router? No. This is a lie, by the way. This is just a factual lie. Otherwise, he wouldn't be worried about getting sued. Ace, I'm just trying to understand why a YouTuber that cares about their credibility would go to an allegation and find no evidence to support it and then platform it in their video that will gain a lot of traction against Lio. Comments from writer. Router not showing evidence in the video doesn't mean that it couldn't be true. Cool. You could have a harem of toddlers. Nick. I guess I can just state that, according to your values. Router, my videos are for credibility. They're for the purposes of making fun of people. Ace, but you can make fun of somebody without saying they groom people. Router, I didn't say. Or I didn't. I said they allegedly did. Ace, anyone can say someone allegedly did something. You said there's no evidence of grooming. Comments from the writer. Router never said there's no evidence. I mean, he did say he couldn't find any, so guess what that means. Ace, there's a rule of thumb that you don't platform allegations without evidence. You don't even have testimony. That's my most critical criticism of you. You admit it yourself that you didn't find any evidence, yet somehow you personally believe it. You bring up berating others in Senate calls. How does that conflate with grooming? Router, it doesn't, which is contrary to what he said earlier. Let me clarify that with you. I understand. I honestly shouldn't have done that. Ace, can you define in your words what grooming is? Now keep in mind, this is about children. Alright? Keep in mind. Router, I'm not sure, but I would define it as encouraging an underage child to interact with adult activities, I guess. Now keep in mind, this is his value on what grooming is. This is what he meant when he talked about grooming. Ace, using that definition, what has Lio Convoy done that would encourage minors/children to do adult activities? I mean, collecting Transformers, I guess. Router, I would say if there's any credibility to Lio encouraging a 17-year-old to get a bus ticket to live with Lio and his wife, and that 17-year-old to join Senate to elicit and harass strangers online, I would say that would fit. None of that is sexual. Not a single lick of it. Ace, how would that be? That's even assuming all of this is correct, which is not, by the way. Ace, how would that be grooming? Grooming is supposed to be of sexual nature. Do you think Lio is having them move into his house for sexual reasons? Comments for writer. That's not what grooming is, because grooming is not supposed to be of a sexual nature. Grooming is the practice of preparation or training someone for a particular purpose or activity. Lio may fit this exact definition. It just depends on his conduct. However, above here, could you define in your words what grooming is? According to Router, I'm not sure, but I would define it as encouraging an underage child to interact with adult activities. So already, Nick, Mr. Big Brain, Mr. I know language and communication, you've already shot yourself in the foot, because what Router is saying he means is not the Hail Mary that you think you have here against this argument. You're dumb. Router, I can't say for sure that I believe that, but I'm encouraged to believe that whatever Lio is doing isn't with the best mindset. I don't think he's entirely all there. Wait, I thought I was the person that sat there and picked on the mentally infirm. You can't criticize or make fun of me for that if you're willing to do it, buddy. Ace, you can have criticisms, but do you know why this sounds insane? Pretty much the core definition of grooming is prepping a child to have sex with you. That is pretty much the core of grooming. When you say Lio is grooming people on the server, and the only thing you show is that he had someone in his family move in with him and get involved in calls, I'm not trying to downplay what you're saying, but there's no sexual nature behind that you're saying. You're calling him a groomer, which would need sexual nature for it to be grooming. Would you agree with that? Or would you disagree with that? Router, no, I wouldn't disagree. The only thing I'm trying to state is that I'm just trying to put out the information that's been recorded on him. By who? As far as I know, nobody else that's been criticizing me has called me a groomer. In fact, when this stream happened, you're going to blow chat's mind. Freaking Leia something showed up in the chat to call Router a moron for making the accusation without evidence. When Leia something's getting on to you for it, you're done. Because Leia's the dumbest person in this entire cavalcade. And it was part of that information, so I put it down. Ace, do you normally include things in your videos with nothing to back it up? Comments from Writer. Grooming has virtually nothing to do with sex. Ace couldn't even be troubled to pull up the definition. Router already confirmed that's what he meant. Sit and spin, Nicholas. Router. My video isn't made to accuse anybody of anything. Ace, when you say something alleged it does something, what do you think that's doing? Router. I think it's bringing a subject that already exists to light. Ace. That you said has no evidence, right? Router. Mm-hmm. Reloading, unintelligible, that you believe. You can just pull up the transcript. Ace, I'm still trying to understand, even with your definition of grooming, and how you came to the conclusion of, like, why you believe it. There's a difference between including an allegation in a video with no evidence, but you're also saying you believe it. If you're going to believe someone's a groomer, I'd imagine there's a pattern behavior of someone being disgusting/sexual around minors. Lio doesn't have any weird patterns like that. The only thing you could provide for me was the family member they met online, who moved into the house and involved in Discord calls. There's no sexual nature there. I'm stumped how grooming even comes up. Comments from the writer. Moving someone into your house and getting them involved in your Discord calls while manipulating a situation to appear in a way that Lio would prefer could be considered grooming. If you involve a minor in this idea that it should be in Discord calls to give someone trouble based on a perception that you have, a perception that likely doesn't fit reality, and when there is a history of this, you could be considered to have groomed minors. Man, Mr. Fantastic has some competition here with the stretching. Router, I guess by that logic it doesn't. Ace, it's not just by that logic. I'm using the legitimate definition. The core definition of grooming is prepping a child to have sex with them. And again, he just says, it's not the definition, even though that's what Router confirmed. Funny monkey guy joins in the middle of Ace talking. Ray Lowland states incorrectly that at least sexual gratification is part of grooming, which can be argued, but then you're arguing specific activities. Like, I could go literally through the rest of it, so let's see if I can find something even more interesting. Because I posted this in the chat, alright, because I'm not going to go on for too much longer, because it has been like 3 hours, and I am tired and old. So here we go. See if I can find the spot where I came in. Because he gets real butt-mad about that. He gets tushy trouble. Is this where it is? I just want to say this feels very confusing. The way this question was phrased... Hold on. FMG calls Router a loser. Ace begins to speak. Face. Ace, there's another thing I wanted to talk about in the video. Ace brings up a document containing what appears to be a transcription of Router's video. Ace, you say it this time in the video now that wasn't relevant to the narrative. He just wants you to know he pulls the strings. If you're sat at his table, you're going to eat well, but only when he says so. Use the clip of Lio talking about the Just a Robot call. Use the part where he's talking about giving his friends advice at the time, and spun it to this narrative of Lio being a puppeteer that flexes his connections. That you're a protected class if you stick with Lio. Router, a protected class. I wouldn't put it that way, but I'm trying to insinuate that Lio likes to float around bigger YouTubers, that he likes to throw his name around. It had nothing to do with that call in general. It had to do with the fact that because he was the one keeping Jar in check, okay, that has nothing to do with me floating around anybody. Ace, do you know why he was giving Jar advice? Router, because as far as I'm concerned, Jar's a little out of his mind for interruption. Ace, the answer I guess I was looking for is you to say it's because they're friends. They literally like to unintelligible about that. You find it not normal for a friend to give another friend advice if they F up? Router, no, but I find it odd bringing up the fact that Lio was the only one stopping Jar from making crazy videos. I mean, facts are facts. I don't care if you like it. Comments from the writer. I just want to say this feels confusing. The way this question was phrased, it likely wasn't intentional to word it this way, but if it was, it feels like a device. Do you know what this kind of oddity is foreshadowing? I do. He's so smart. Ace, Lio is probably one of the only ones to stop him. I'm not going to lie. That's actually factually true, unfortunately. Router, why was it relevant, though? Ace, why was it relevant? Lio is giving his side of the story, is he not? Router, not necessarily. It's just unneeded added BS. Ace, I mean, that just feels like nitpicking. Because if he's talking about that in his own video with Jar, it's like saying, Jar was my friend, I tried to give him advice, and this is where we are. It's his own side of the story. I don't see that as much of an issue. Router, there's not much of an issue if you don't want to take issue with... ? That's just something I noticed about it. That's why I pointed it out. Comments from the writer. The things Ace is saying in the above paragraph make Ace unreliable. Really? Really? To do with speaking on language. You don't even know how to read. Lio Convoy is suspicious, known for bringing people to his Discord for any number of reasons. Ooh, so scary. How could a person say what Ace is saying when the kind of language on display suggests any number of traits? When we have audio of Lio saying he's going to pay a 15-year-old a visit while Lio is being made fun of by said 15-year-old, it's not beyond sanity to say Lio exhibits traits presented that we refer to as control freaks. If you are going to ignore what has been seen and heard, then call Router's involvement of Lio talking about Jar's behavior, then I'm going to call you a Lio Convoy cultist. Ace is part of the Convoy cult. Confirmed. Ace, okay, but why did you point it out? Ray Lowland, well, he's saying he's pulling the string, makes it sound malicious. It feels needlessly malicious. Router, what seems needlessly malicious? Ray Lowland, framing Lio giving advice to his friend and his friend being stupid and not taking it as Lio is pulling the strings or controlling is needlessly malicious. Router, what you're saying is what I said is needlessly malicious, not how Ray Lowland, the way it's worded is very needlessly malicious. That's my point. Router, well, I take it as one thing, you can take it as another. Lio Convoy enters the stream, then Lucas TK enters. Shortly after Lucas enters, they're ejected. That was funny. Lio, very interesting video you did there. Router, I have my own set of questions for you. You start your video essentially saying you know bronies and furries. Do you think I went after any of them because of the fandoms they're in? Router, I don't even know who's talking. Lio answers with a funny response. First of all, are you okay? Do you need to center yourself? Take a minute to breathe? And I was genuinely just trying to make sure this guy was, like, centered. And I don't do anime speeches, okay? I do comic book speeches. Get it right. Router says no while someone asks Router if he's on anything. What I say, I want a productive conversation. If Router needs to take a moment, it's fine. Nobody's going to make fun of you for composing yourself. Do you need to do that right now? Router tells me a while at the stream that he's just not good at talking to people. Totally understandable. Router, no, I'm okay. In your video, you confused a few of us when you said you wanted to stick up for people. Do you think I went after them because they're in a fandom? Router, no, from what I read, it's because they're predators. Then why did you think you needed to stick up for them? Comments from the writer. It's weird to think anyone could talk to Lio and his friends when they can't sense humor on what someone is speaking. Router, it was just a joke I made. So now it's a joke. Router, yes, I'm poking fun at the fact that I have furries that watch my videos. It always was a joke, says the writer. Here's where I have a little bit of a tiff. You got a lot of your information from Gilded Poo, yes? Router, no, I got the majority of information from Kiwi Farms, unfortunately. That is literally the dumbest place you could have gotten to cite anything with that. You have gotten to cite without actual evidence. Because you didn't put it in your video. The videos you cited primarily were things like Gilded Poos. And the reason I ask is, number one, you shouted him out, and number two, I know you're in his server. And I know what you said there. Come on, man. Don't do this. Don't make me embarrass you. Please. I really don't want to. FMG asks Lio to please embarrass him while others laugh. Lio asks Ace to show screenshots. Lio claims that Router was asking particular questions because Router was worried Lio would involve legal action. That's just what he did. Router disagrees. Then why would he ask? Interesting. Lio says that he knows he's right, even though it's just speculation. Actually, no, I have screen caps to prove it, and I did on Ace's stream. Ace then starts to read the 4 different screenshots. From Discord screenshots, Router asked to have Lio's name confirmed, the Router saying sometime after, Basically, I know he likes to throw lawsuits at every person that craps on him, so I just want to make sure I could gather what little I could gather as I laid the stand down. Out of all of his children, were any of them male or just the 3 women? Comments from the writer: if Router published bad information, it makes for a more of a defamation case. Router wants to get as much correct as he can about Lio so that the video full of lies doesn't see the light of day, which is why, he totally did, right? It's called doing your due diligence. Though Router arguably made mistakes in this video, he didn't try to confirm what he could, arguably falling short, very short. Dude didn't even make the step stool. To give Router trouble over actually trying to get it right is not to care that he got anything wrong. You can't have it both ways. You can give Router trouble for acting or attempting to tell a story whatsoever unless you were suspicious. Actually, I can, and I will. Consistently. Stop being dumb. Router, I asked if you did that to make sure you had your... and you said no. Why are you lying to me in stream, man? Come on. Please don't do this. Router, let me clarify. FMG, didn't you say you got all of your crap from Kiwi Farms? Router, yes, that's the point. That's where I pulled the name from. In the Kiwi Farms post, you're also in the comments disputing a lot of it. One of the things you disputed was your name. I wasn't sure. Me. I didn't dispute my name. Somebody at some point thought I was Anthony, and they did. Somebody thought I was FNGR. Router, no, you literally picked out a specific part in the comment and said all the information at this point is all false, and that comment happened to mention your name. They gave the docs of someone who is not me, who has a similar name to me, that lives in my city because I'm Hispanic. Guerra is not exactly an uncommon name. Router, okay. FMG, would you agree that when you talk to GP asking questions, you're getting information from him? Router, I guess. FMG, okay, so you blatantly lied in this stream. Router, how? FMG, you said you got all your information from Kiwi Farms. Router, I said I got most of my information from Kiwi Farms. FMG, then why didn't you mention Gilded Poo? Comments from the writer. The FMG guy is an effing R word. Ace confirms that he did mention GP and shout him out in the video. Ace, even in the screenshots you were asking about Rosa, Hopeless Peaches, and Jordan, asking if there are other dramas to mention. I feel you went to Gilded Poo for more than what you're saying you did. Router, I did. I feel that most of the information I ended up pulling came from Kiwi Farms, and then I found at the tail end of everything, I found Gilded Poo's video, where he shed a lot of light in the cohesive kind of fluid manner, so I decided I'd try to reach out to him for information. Leo cracked a good joke about getting fluid from poo. Yes, that was funny. Were you actually worried I was going to sue you? It seems to be your worry from screenshots. What did you think I was going to do? Router, mainly all of this crap is awful. Okay. Who have I done it to? We had Leia in the chat earlier, and I never served her with anything. Router, I have no idea, but I do 4 to 6 days of research. Ace, why are you going around claiming he did then? If you can only do 4 days of research, don't do the video. Make sense? I do more than 4 days of research when I'm covering an action figure. Come on, man, this is embarrassing for you. I think the reason you were curious about this is because you knew you were going to say something out of pocket, and wanted to make sure there was no way I could sue you by saying allegedly. And here's the funny thing, the 17-year-old, Jordan, I allegedly want to move in with me? Some lunatic named Fluffy spread that screenshot. I offered Jordan to live near me once they turned 18 in case they needed help at first. They were trying to get away from their parents' house because their mother let someone who molested them in twice, knowing what they had done. Ace interrupts to clarify details. Here's where we get the fun. Comments from the writer. I reiterate, Lio is suspicious. Why is it that this is a detail that's only coming up now? It hasn't. You just haven't paid attention. I ask this because why doesn't Ace already know this? Because he doesn't know all my history. This is information that should have been known sooner. It was known sooner. I'm sorry you can't pay attention. Lio is bringing this up now when he's having to clear his name. This all puts under the impression that this information wasn't written anywhere, but we could believe a suspicious person whose history isn't detailed online, as much detail that could prove Lio's innocence. I'm sorry you don't pay attention. Let's see here. This is essentially what goes on throughout the entire thing. Like, the entire thing is just him trying his best to list out things, making the dumbest of possible arguments against it. Because unfortunately, this guy really thinks he's smarter than he actually is. He's also very upset that Muffin came in, which is absolutely hilarious. I've linked the doc in the comments, or the chat. I'll link them also in the description when I'm done. But I have some fun things here I need to read real quick. Comments from writer. Though I believe Lio and many others on the stream and panel are suspicious, because I don't have the facts and evidence in front of me, I'm willing to believe that Lio is just a strange autistic person that lacks the ability to grasp the reality of things, and that his friends are drug-addled degenerates. Wow. I don't believe any of them are predators. However, given how Lio has conducted himself in the past, I believe that he very likely could have groomed any number of people and not realized that grooming doesn't deal in strictly sex. Yes, I have tried to convince many people to buy Transformers. He could be guilty of actually grooming others, but I have yet to see hard evidence. I'm willing to believe that he is likely to have groomed someone but not fully recognize it, because sex wasn't involved. I will state that there may be an accusation and practice of grooming in Lio's history that isn't the most obvious, but fits the technical definition. Just because it isn't known to the public doesn't mean it hasn't happened. I would not accuse Lio of anything solid, except that you have multiple times, to do with grooming, but there's always a chance, because the public is not on the inside of every life. Lastly, until Kiwi Farms is disproven completely, I don't see a reason to doubt them. Burden of proof is on who makes the claim, by the way. I know you think you're smart, Nick, but that's the truth of the matter. To blindly believe everything Lio and his friends say is the same as blindly believing Kiwi Farms. No, because my real name's out there. I'll own what I do. Until conclusive evidence of a suspicious person is known and public, I don't trust any of you. That's fine. You are to keep a 16-year-old in the server after knowing they're 16. And then you made buddy-buddy with a pedophile. And on top of that, you brought somebody who wanted to talk about monstrous kids' genitals into your server because you just don't see a problem with them. If anybody here's a creep other than the actual pedophile, it's you, buddy. Discussing Lio Convoy. While allegations have seen breathing room, it's no wonder why a self-righteous man-child would act defensively while his issues with his father permeate his every waking moment. No, my issue with Hasbro taking my money is. Now, I know he thinks this is a clever thing to say, because he's sitting there trying to grandstand me about telling him to concern himself with his own mental health, because he wanted to immediately try to become a victim of that. But, it's not the dig you think it is, pal. He speaks as though he commands respect, reverence, or fear from everyone while thinking he can speak on relations between children and their families. I do. All while threatening to call the parents of the very same children he only wishes to help. Call your parents. He made a career out of being a suggestion of empathetic, while demanding that others give him information he wants while wielding a raised voice as though he is meaningful to the world. I have noticed that there's no small amount of people who aren't offended by what I say. They're offended by my tone. I'm sorry I talk in a way that makes you remind yourself of your parents thinking you're a failure, but that's not my fault. He may tell you that God put him on this path, but that doesn't mean McDonald's needs to hear you screaming in all your abuse glory as children within the vicinity of your voice can be reminded of the time your abusers yelled at them. Are you projecting there, buddy? Probably shouldn't. Because, like, what is this nonsense? Lio could not care about how other people feel. I gave 8K to a person who constantly weaponized their life against me because I cared about how they felt. Or he would have issued an apology to Rosa sooner. I did it literally the next day. And I proved that in my Diaz video because she finally admitted it. Alright? Now, I'm not blaming Rosa 100% for that, alright? But, like, I did. I'm sorry, but you are factually wrong. And if you actually paid as much attention as you want to play pretend that you do, yeah, you'd know that. If he still has yet to do so. While also getting in the way of the law. When have I done that? Citation needed, evidence required. He is dismissive of everyone's reasoning but his own. As though he mattered to any conversation of value in the slightest. I mean, I mattered enough to you. Oddly enough, for all the good he thinks he's done, he's only brought attention to his name as someone with more resources than a failure could ever ask for. Okay. I'm sorry that you're a failure. It's not my problem. While Lio argues with lawyers, I've never once argued with a lawyer. Barbie wasn't a lawyer. Barbie lied about her credentials. Stardust pushed it. And Stardust has her own issues, and maybe one day we'll talk about them. Not today, though. But I'll just put it this way. Stardust has no right to grandstand anybody about anything. Barbie was a liar. Stardust hasn't retracted that. And Barbie went to ground when they found out that they got exposed as a liar. That's not their problem. He has discouraged establishing contact with the authorities because he believes that he is above the authority of mortal men. Yes, totally. Absolutely. That's why I constantly tell people to go to the cops. And meanwhile, he discards evidence of things he'd rather give over an avalanche of emotion. Proof? As he asserts himself as though he should own vocal cords. What? Everybody owns vocal cords in one way or another. Does Lio know that the sound of his voice broadcast to the world that he should have been born a mute instead? Well, that's actually ableism. Does this guy actually think he's righteous? This is amazing. One can only wonder, for Lio has used his voice almost strictly to achieve nothing. I actually have achieved quite a bit of things. I mean, I have a house, a wonderful wife, great career, a lot of good friends, and plenty of Transformers. But not enough. Wouldn't that suggest that he has no clue about what is actually valuable? I mean, I do. I'm sorry that you're offended I got onto your friend for being dumb. Potentially, after all, he does buy a lot of worthless toys that he assembles with his fat hands as he presents a whiny and manipulated perspective to people who would be better off spending their time learning survival skills. Buddy, I could drop you off in the woods for a day and you'd die. Also, literally any one of my toys is more valuable than you would ever think. Like, I have a $700 Voltron over there. Are you kidding me? Am I starting to sound critical? Fraudulent creatures like Lio beget such commentary. Aren't you smart? You use the word beget. Brilliant. After all, could you blame me? Yes, because you're an idiot. You're a sophist, you're redundant, you're self-aggrandizing, and you're an idiot. Oddly enough, for someone nearing their 40s, I have to wonder why Lio only talks down to women, children, and furries. No, I've done it to plenty of men, too. The amount of men here's the thing. All right, here's the thing. I want to be very clear here. The majority of the predators I've dealt with have been men. The majority of the people I've had to destroy in voice calls have been men. I had like over 2,000 calls on my hard drive. Are you kidding me? This just comes from ignorance and trying his best to frame things as dishonestly as he can. Is this projection I'm smelling? No. If there is, it's from you. Potentially, it could be instead. Lio is a control freak with those he's speaking with from a distance. I mean, I am? That's weird. If I was a control freak, wouldn't I be forcing my friends to talk in the way I prefer? It's really strange. It would be unfair to assume something like this about his relationship with his wife. Yet you will. I prefer to stick to the facts and analysis, which you've done none of. Lest we assume we could ignore evidence as Lio convoys a tendency to do. Citation needed, evidence required. Should I allow for Lio's stated autism to have a reason? I said I might be on the spectrum, not that I am. I don't know yet. No. He has been busy for years. Yeah, because I have a job. Sorry. And not once has an R-word wrangler ever stepped in. Huh. What progressive language here. Then again, this is the guy who calls people the N-word unironically, so I won't involve restraint here either. Aren't you tough? Such a tough guy. He's not gonna... I can't hold him back, guys. Isn't fairness beautiful? Okay, you want to be fair? We can do that. I'll be responding in due time. But, yeah, this is all public now, Nick. I hope you enjoy the fact that you were so easy for Sunny to play. All they had to do was put on a uwu soft girl voice, and you started falling for them and gave them everything they wanted. That speaks more to you than it would me, frankly. Now, one can argue that I've been a sucker, yeah, because I've helped multiple people and I give them money. It isn't just for women, by the way. I've also given Jar money. So yeah, God forbid I be empathetic. I'm so sorry that offends you. Alright, so. We are nearing the end, and now it is time. First, I will put the dock in here. There it is. There it is. Maybe later I'll add timestamps, but I don't feel like it. You guys get to suffer. So I'm going to save this. And now we are going to read the super chats, because it's been a while. It's been almost 4 hours, and I am tired. And I have work in the morning. I got to be up at 3. So let's see here. See y'all. Goodness, you guys have been really kind today. Appreciate it. $2 from David. 19 likes and the stream hasn't even begun yet. I guess they were really excited. Emily for $2. Where can I watch 1996 Rurouni Kenshin? Pirate Bay? Leo's Lookalike for $5. Hope to see lots of fun figure reviews and more content you enjoy after all of this is dealt with. Sorry to keep dealing with this. I do plan on doing like my top picks for all the figures I've collected in 2024. That's still in the works, though. I need to put out that Nerf video first. Lucky M for $10. I have to watch this later after work. Super Bowl Sunday is kicking my butt right now a little bit. I hope yours and everyone's days are going okay. They went alright. Echo Decay for $5. 90s Router should have stayed in his lane making videos on VTubers and low-hanging fruit. His videos on you showcases how awful and disingenuous he is. Unfortunately, yes. Leo's Lookalike for $2. Cat Slayer is epic because we talk about goth girls. True! Sky Tepis for $5. Lio, I want to buy you a tasty treat after work. I want to buy a tasty treat after work. Should I get myself a small chocolate cake or a small pack of chocolate donuts? Ooh, the cake. You gotta go with the cake, Chief. Lost in the Worlds 15. Got 2 of them. 2 for $5. What is this cartoony monologuing nonsense? This is the most terminally online I've heard in months. Yes, it is. Yen for $2. Thank you, Lord Megatron, for the speech. You're welcome. Echo Decay for $2. The 90s Router. Suffer as I have. Platinum Amex, $5. The dude sounds like he heard a Saturday morning cartoon villain speaking patterns with like, this is what will make dad come back with the milk. That was mean. Lost Worlds 15 for $5. Okay, now my head is starting to hurt. I think my nose is bleeding. Yeah, I get that. Just call me Chris for $5. Anime villain at max cringe. Yes. Rock Roll Disc for $5. Hey, Lio, I've been building the RX-78-2 Perfect Grade Unleashed and having a blast. Have you built this one, and what do you think of it? Man, I want that. I just have not... I've had to spend my money on other things close to that dollar amount. I just haven't had the time to just put that aside, but man, it looks so good. Pootu for $5. Everyone in chat go donate $1 sterling to Sunny's Ko-Fi. That'll be nearly 600 pounds, which is almost the same poundage as Hopeless Peaches. Okay. For the future, let's try not to take shots at people's, weight here, please. The Linden Hour, but I appreciate it, Pootu. For $2, Nick has nothing to say, yet he won't shut up. People can talk all day long and say absolutely nothing. David for another $5 pound. Sunny, you took one for the team. Thank you, Based. Also $5 from David again. You need Transformers Transition for those reading Lettermans. I actually don't know how to do that, no BS. Pootu, $2. This is the OG Docker Snunnies copy. Snunnies. Kubobot Jammer for $2 and then $5. Forgot to add the actual message. Anyway, thank you for the feast, Lio. Well, I'm glad you had one. And I appreciate the new member who joined, whose name I've already forgotten. I am sorry I forgot it. Buddha Cat for $5. If Lio has a harem, who would be Shampoo and Ukyo? I actually haven't seen Ramma 1/2. It doesn't appeal to me. Sorry. So, I appreciate you all joining me on, so far, the second longest stream I think I've done. Maybe we'll do some more fun ones in the future, but right now, this is all we be doing, yo. Have fun picking apart these videos and wait for the near future when I release that actual full video on this. I think Vlad's putting one out well before me because he's quicker on this. But, artists, don't shrimp. You stop that. No shrimping. None. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I will catch you guys later. Platinum AMX for $5. Thanks for hitting router around for a few hours. Now the Wi-Fi is better. You're welcome. Now I will let you guys go. Have a good night.